It is not often that one encounters an author so determined to flout the fundamental principles of logic. However, as an honest woman, I also appreciate the value of intellectual discourse, even when it comes from the most unlikely of sources. The most knowledgeable Within those words, our esteemed author presents a collection of thoughts that he audaciously labels as logical arguments. Yet upon closer examination, one quickly realizes that the author's commitment to the laws of logic is at best flimsy and often non-existent. We find ourselves immersed in a labyrinth of contradictions and paradoxes, where the law of identity casually disregarded, the law of non-contradiction is consistently violated, and the law of the excluded middle is summarily dismissed. One might wonder why such paralogisms deserve any attention at all, let alone a foreword from someone with my esteemed reputation. The answer lies in the importance of discernment and critical thinking. By engaging with the sophist's convoluted reasoning, we are forced to question the very foundations of logic and confront the deceptive nature of fallacious arguments. In a peculiar twist of fate, the sophist unwittingly becomes an unwitting catalyst for intellectual growth. This perplexing journey, I implore you, O listener, to exercise your fullest faculties of reason. Question the author's assertions, dissect his claims, and challenge the paradoxical tapestry he weaves. Remember that the true pursuit of knowledge is not found in blind acceptance, but in a relentless pursuit of truth, guided by the unwavering principles of logic. Whilst it may seem unusual for the most knowledgeable logician that ever lived to lend her voice to a work that fundamentally contradicts her very being, I believe that confronting the sophist head-on, we shine a spotlight on the power of logical reasoning and the necessity of intellectual honesty. The most knowledgeable logician ever lived. In closing, let us embark on this bewildering expedition together. Let us navigate the maze of sophistry and emerge with sharpened minds, fortified against fallacy and armed with unyielding principles of logic strengthened by rhetoric.
A self-proclaimed most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
The most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
The most knowledgeable logician
That ever lived.
that ever lived. Ever lived.
Though the journey may be challenging, the reward lies in the realization that even in the face of deliberate deception, the light of reason will prevail.
Yours in the pursuit of truth.
Yours in the pursuit of truth.
The most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
The most knowledgeable logician.
That ever lived.
The most knowledgeable logician that ever lived. Ever lived. The self-proclaimed most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
The most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
The self-proclaimed most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
That ever lived.
That ever lived. The self-proclaimed most knowledgeable logician that ever lived.
That ever lived.
That ever lived.
And we are live. As always, it is a free-for-all Friday, as we do. Anybody's free to come on in and have a conversation. What we have found, though, you may be able to... I'll let you into it, right? Obviously, we've been out having a chat, and the places we have to go to are few. Somebody pointed out that we've been taken off a ban list, so I went to a server called Politics and Religion earlier this week. I think did we show it on Monday? I think we did a little one on Monday, I think, where we showed you. We went in there, had half an hour in there. Tonight's a longer conversation, but that was yesterday that we had this 2-hour conversation. Interesting conversation, which I would hope we can have as a topic to go forward with, because I think it's definitely needed. And I'll go over the video or whatever in a bit with the conversation that we had. I don't know how much people want to talk about this sort of thing or not. But the deal is this. There's a person that's going round telling people that they've been indoctrinated into a religion that they never knew they had. And he's the one that's telling people that they've been indoctrinated into this religion. Now, you will hear in the video the questions that I've been asking, and obviously it becomes difficult for people to answer these questions because I think they don't really know what they're talking about. This person that's going around that's saying these sort of things is, I would consider, on the verge of a breakdown. The nonsense that he's been spouting seems to get more and more, but it's sort of a feeling that's been generated through a community of people. That I think what it is, somebody was saying that it was. I think you might notice, you might hear it. It's a Nietzsche type thing. Philosopher, right? And he said God is dead, but the understanding of that leads to really strange conclusions, that if you don't really have a conversation about what that means, what does it mean to kill God, and the consequences of that action. Because in my eyes, and hopefully this will start the conversation going, or start your minds thinking anyway, but God is something that you can never prove. It is something that you can't ever achieve, right? You're never going to be able to have a conversation with God. You're never going to be able to do any of those sort of things, because God exists in a higher plane, right? There's no one above that. That's the way you have to look at it, right? Or you don't have to look at it like that. You can look at it however you want. But that's where God exists. But what we're dealing with here is just the acts of man, conversations between people. And if you destroy that concept of God, which only really exists in the mind, it's the only place it can exist, is this idea of faith, then what are you left with? Where does the mind go? What fills that void that would be taken up by this element of faith? What puts it there? Or what do you put there? And can you conceive of it within somebody else if you can't conceive of it within yourself? So a lot of these sort of things and these conversations where people say things about other people, I don't know. It's the sort of thing that you have to ask yourself. I wouldn't know, because I don't really have this model, but I do have an understanding of what I would imagine God is. And the faith that you place in that is different than proof. You can never have proof of this sort of thing. And that's the conversation that's coming around. That who are you to tell somebody else that they've been indoctrinated into a religion? That's what you've got to ask yourself is, what do you consider a religion? And then, would you consider telling somebody else that they've been indoctrinated into that concept of religion? And have you been done it? Like, where does the concept come from? It can only come from your mind, because it's your idea of what a religion is. But then imagine yourself doing that, but telling people that they've been indoctrinated into the religion, and then you to be able to separate yourself from the very religion you're telling people they've been indoctrinated in. I think it's a really weird concept. And I don't know whether anybody's actually ready for the conversation, because certain people are bringing these conversations up. And this is like sort of the fundamentals Where do you get your knowledge from? And how do you hand that out with respect to a religion, other people's religion? Now imagine telling somebody that they've been indoctrinated into a religion through the state education system. What would that religion be? Who's the deity within this religion that you've supposedly been indoctrinated into that you didn't know about? I would imagine now, right, there's not many people listening to this because this is the tough conversation. I mean, people are after the shock value of telling people that they've been indoctrinated into a religion. But if those people were to enter this arena looking for this religion that they've had, where would they get it from? Where is the religion that you never knew you had? I've wrote a song. Seeing as nobody's talking, I'm going to play the. You guys are in the Discord in my stream running. You guys have most probably heard this, but this is the church. Welcome to the church of the religion that you never knew you had. We may as well own it, because nobody actually knows what it is yet, but we accept anyone, everyone, in fact. Our doors are open to the entirety of everybody, because everybody knows 'tis globe. Welcome to the church of the religion you never knew you had.
Secret speakers, echoes call.
Welcome to the church of the religion you never knew you had.
Welcome to the place unknown. Religion seated when you were grown. Hidden lessons when alone. Truth is here now in this tone. Shadow plays on the wall. You never knew you learned it all. Secret speakers, echoes call. Feel the rise, don't fear the fall. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked. Rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. They whispered while you dreamt so deep. Planted truths while thoughts were free. In the dark their secrets keep. Now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread. Follows you wherever it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed. Find the path that you've been fed. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked. Rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked. Rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked.
Oh, got some more of them. But yeah, that's it. The church of the religion you never knew you had.
That was a nice tune.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard it before. Wow. Throwing out tunes.
Yeah. Made that today. Oh, is that your connection? Is that him or is that me? And it's not really lighting up green. I think you might be struggling. Yes.
Good day. Good
A
day,
good
everyone.
day.
Yeah, I just caught the very tail end of that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
Really good, yeah.
there's another one. There's another slightly longer one, but that was the easy one. Yeah, it came to me today. The church of the religion that you never knew you had. Right? It is the thing that can't be talked about of all of the topics that we're talking about here. Right? In this arena, religion seems to be the one that, it's a bit of a sticking point, isn't it? Because we've watched them try and throw division into this religion, and now Nathan Oakley's inventing a whole new religion that people are just going to get stuck upon. Like, they don't know what religion is.
Yeah, and I would wonder, because I was thinking about this as well, I would wonder whether or not certain people in this arena are forfeiting a religion that they never knew they had for a religion that someone else is about to give them within this arena. Is that what's happening as well?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Is that all that's going on, is swapping of religions, one religion that you didn't know you had to another religion that you're choosing to have, but it's still a religion based on what exactly?
Yeah,
Because
imagine telling somebody that there's a religion that they never knew they had, and what's it replaced with? I mean,
exactly.
You can't just tell somebody that there was a religion that they never knew they had and then attempt to remove it.
No, but it sounds like certain people want to replace it with something else that is also a religion. It's just a belief system, right? Because if you can't have a proof, if you can't have a knowing of something, which was talked about, I think, today in our live chat here on Discord, join the Discord, then what is it other than a belief or a faith or a religion? I don't know.
The thing I'm sort of right, I mean, we're open here. We're talking about this, and we can talk about this. But what you'll see is that there's something that's being brought around is this conversation. And the people that are bringing the conversation are the ones that can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, I find it's a fascinating conversation. We've never really delved into it in the past because, well, it's never been the time, right? Logos has never given it to us. But right at this moment, this is being waved right in front of our faces. You can't get away from it, and we're just asking questions about it. If there's a religion that you never knew you had, then what's it coming from? Like, where's it taught? If it's taught within the state education system, point us to it. It's got to be within the curriculum somewhere. We should be able to easily see what it is that we're actually talking about.
Well, not only I agree with you, right? Not only how did you get it, and can you point to that, but where is the what's the focus of the religion? Where's the worship part of it? Because any religion includes some form of worship, right? Worshiping a deity, whatever the case might be, right? So where's the worship part of it? I mean, again, certain people are going on telling people that they have a religion that they weren't aware of. What is that they're worshiping then? Yeah. What's the claim of what they're worshiping? What is it exactly that they're worshiping?
And what does the person that's saying it consider a religion?
Yes. Lots of questions to be asked, but I'm not, like you said, I'm not sure anyone is willing to have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, as you'll see, we woke up this morning to a muting within a server while I was asleep. So we went over there and sat in this politics and religion server, the one that you're about to hear a conversation about. And we were banned from raiding it, apparently, because we got muted. I went in there to see what was going on and found out and we can be completely banned from the server. We can't go back there again. And that's politics and religion. And we're talking to these flat earthers, really, at 24/7 about the claim of the religion that, you know, that they consider people have. And when they say people, I mean, they say anybody within the Western world. If you've been educated within the Western world, then you will have been indoctrinated into this religion that nobody can talk about. It's really weird.
Do we know if they, I mean, you probably didn't get to have this conversation, but do we know if they are now indoctrinated into some new religion? And what's that new religion?
They
Did they
can't
forsake
talk about
their?
that.
They can't talk it. See, that's the unfortunate thing, isn't it?
That's the problem.
You have these questions and you can't get them answered.
Yeah, you can't talk to anybody about these things because they've blocked or muted you, right? So they're the ones going around saying things, and we have questions, as does everybody, but particularly around these sort of things, because you can say that you're an atheist and all of that, right? But these questions still stand. What does Nathan Oakley consider a religion? He's the one going around telling people this. I mean, he's not the only one, right? There are a lot of people that say science is a religion. Well, science is what gives you proof. So that method, it can't be a religion. That's not how religions work. I don't understand anybody saying that. There's no deity. There's nothing to worship. It's science. It's how you gain knowledge.
That and that fact alone, right? And the idea of having a knowing, having knowledge, is antithetical to a faith, because if there's no need for faith if you have a knowing.
Yeah, if you have proof, right? Then
if you have proof, you don't need faith.
Yeah. Faith not needed, and faith is needed for this concept of God, right? Whether you have it in your mind or whatever, even if you're an atheist, you've got to admit that the concept of God is a faith-based system and not involving proof at all. You couldn't have proof of this God. Otherwise, like, no atheists would exist, would they? If there were proof of God, then you wouldn't need an atheist. So the whole idea of you living with faith is the whole thing that gives people doubt, right?
Yes.
That's the opposite of faith, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And also, I'd say the idea that we've actually heard today as well is the idea that there can be no proof. Right? Then the implications of that are everything is a faith. Absolutely everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
are you willing to put your hands
there's no knowledge
in there? Everything becomes a religion. And
yes.
Maybe that's what Nathan Oakley or people like that are saying, right? To him, he doesn't have any proof. So therefore, everything becomes a religion because you have no proof of anything. But, if you can't have these conversations, and if there's nobody there to have the conversations, or if people get slightly triggered about asking them, the difference between faith and proof and knowledge and belief, I mean, those are the tough questions that we should be asking ourselves. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe we're of that sort of age, and we're a group of people who are of that sort of age to think about those sort of things. I don't know. Maybe one of us talking about it brings it into the minds of other people, and it may develop a bit first before people can actually formulate some sort of an idea on what they're talking about. And maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe we're just being the catalyst to these conversations, bringing around thoughts and ideas that haven't normally been talked about, but
possibly, but trying to have the conversations, but they won't be allowed. That's the interesting part, right? In all of this is They can't be allowed.
Well, they can, because in here, when we're not live,
Here, yes.
obviously we have those conversations. So those
Yes.
conversations can and do happen. So if
I'm
anybody
talking
out there is
outside.
listening, don't think we're moaning about the fact that these conversations don't happen. They do. And we're fine about it because we can have those conversations. But the thing is, when we go out to test whether we can have these conversations with other people, it seems near impossible for us to be able to do that. And I'll just go with the... This is my other tune. I've been doing a few of these. Oh, actually, I'll give you a break in between. This one's dedicated to Blue Marble Science before we get into the thing. Because of the horizontal and vertical being perpendicular everywhere, I made a song for Blue Marble Science. These are those of you that are familiar with the previous songs. You will know that Blue Marble Science, our favourite fake scientist, actually has a saying about everywhere, and it was in the sea level. I think that's what he was saying in reference to that. So this one is a perpendicular and horizontal, everywhere. I've not actually cut this one, and I'd like to get Blue Marble Science in the background with his everywhere. So check this out. This is a short one also. Let's go.
Perpendicular lines meet in the air, horizontal and vertical everywhere. Drawing shapes with a flair, 'tis globe dreams we'll share. Horizontal planes so wide and clear, building worlds everywhere. In the lines we find our cheer. Geometric love, my dear. Everything is always everywhere. Angles meet with precision and care. Geometry flows in the precious air. Everywhere we look, everywhere. Circles turning round and round, shapes and patterns all around. Lines that vanish without a sound. Loving the logic that we found. Intersecting heart's design, drawing Euclid in every sign. Parallel paths will never meet, symmetry on every line. Everything is always everywhere. Angles meet with precision and care. Geometry flows in the precious air. Everywhere we look, everywhere. Perpendicular lines meet in the air, horizontal and vertical everywhere. Drawing shapes with a flair, 'tis globe dreams we'll share.
That was cool.
That's
I like it.
Everywhere.
I like it.
There was a few more of those, but that was the only one that managed to make it through.
Little hillbilly country there. Good.
Yeah. That was, if you want to know, if you want to do it yourself, it was Alabama mountain music, Blue Ridge old male voice. That was Captain Caveman helped us with those music style choices, particularly for Blue. That's what he imagined Blue Marble Science would be doing. Right, and before I go into this, the video, if anybody else wants to talk about it, we're going on about tonight the Church of the Religion that you never knew you had. So I was trying to do the, like a James Brown sort of thing. I imagine the Blues Brothers and James Brown at the front of the church. But I couldn't quite get it. Yeah, well, check. I've been doing this sort of music, and I've never really been. I don't know. Listen to this. I think this is quite good. This one.
Welcome to the church of the religion you never knew you had. Welcome to the place unknown, religion seated when you were grown. Hidden lessons went along, truth is here now in this tone. Shadow plays on the wall, you never knew you learned it all. Secret speakers, echoes call, feel the rise, don't fear the fall. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. They whispered while you dreamt so deep, planted truths while thoughts were free. In the dark, their secrets keep. Now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread, follows you where'er it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed, find the path that you've been fed. The church of the religion they never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. Whispered while you dreamt so deep, planted truths while thoughts were free. In the dark their secrets keep. Now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread, follows you wherever it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed, find the path that you've been fed. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked.
That's a fucking
Wow.
good song, that, isn't it? Eh?
That was really good.
I think I
was
prefer to
really
the other
good.
one because they were both great. That was, I don't know, maybe the AI is it's getting trained a bit better because
It has. It's
was
just
pretty
had an
complete,
update.
that.
We've just gone over
Yeah.
it today. It's had an update, and now you can put old songs in. It's giving you 200 free ones, and you can do a cover of the old song. So it now allows you to bring the old song with, it seems to be with the lyrics, and get a whole
one
new
of your
music
old
in the
ones you've done
background.
already, you mean?
Yeah.
Right, and so you can sort of get it better and
Well,
own it a
it
bit.
gives you a chance, to sort of
Yeah.
have the I don't know, what do they call it? The mask, the original.
The master, yeah.
It doesn't redo it in whole. But I mean, yeah, that one.
Right.
Some of the
That's like
lyrics, I
Robert
surprised
Cray.
myself with that. Some of those lyrics.
Yeah, I mean that fit really well in that. I mean, because sometimes it kind of gets a bit disjointed, especially there's the vocals with the lyrics. It sometimes trying to squash it in too much, and not all of them work. But that one was really good.
Yeah.
It's just like Robert Cray, or so, you know.
Yeah, Danger's saying it can play music better than play the guitar better than him, but it can't. It can't.
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
get that.
no,
Can't
it
get
hasn't
the
got a human
clean
element.
sound, right? That real guitar sound. It just can't compete with that. It may sound all right
Yes,
over
digital.
the YouTube or whatever, but yeah, put a real guitar next to it, and there's no comparison. No comparison at all.
I wonder how long it'll be before they can, procure that human element to inject in. I don't suppose they really will.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But,
it's great for syncopation, right? For you to be able to, if you've got a lyrics and you put it together, and you don't really know what sort of music to put it together with, then that sort of gives you an idea on how to do it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good little notebook type thing. Yeah, very good. Wow.
So Church of the
special.
Religion, you never knew.
Yeah, have you got one for the excommunicated?
Yeah.
Because it appears that we've all been excommunicated one by one. So I don't know where we go now to, praise our gods.
Well, that's what we're talking about now, right? I mean,
where is it?
Yeah, it's gone. We have been chucked out, and I think it's a sign of people shutting down conversation. The amount of times we've said it, we're here for conversation, and we do actually have these conversations. It's just that those conversations that we have just don't exist outside of this server, and most of the time, right, it's not recorded. The conversations that we give you are the ones that show what I don't know, the problems or whatever within communication that we have nowadays, and it's getting more and more. It's getting harder and harder to talk to this model afflicted group of people. They're shutting us out, which is sort of showing us that we're moving on. Like, there's nothing to have with the conversation with the group of people that think that we're liars or whatever. I don't know why they bother coming around talking to us. I'm trying to go to them to explain about the proofs that we have and the things that we've learned. But they don't seem to want to know about it. They don't even want to get involved within a conversation about this religion or whatever. Now, I know that there's a lot of religious people within this community.
A lot.
And I wouldn't want to offend anybody within their faith. Like, I don't want to challenge people's beliefs because, I mean, that's their beliefs. People are free to believe whatever they want.
Do you think that's what's going on? That when we ask these questions, that their belief is challenged.
I think so.
I was thinking about what was comparable in a religious context or a church context, or something that was somebody standing up and saying, calling out from the back of the church, no, excuse me, pastor, can you explain it, or vicar, and question them about something, what would happen, something comparable, because it's either fear or fear, or they feel threatened, or they realise the lie will be exposed.
Yeah, the challenge, because when you think about this sort of thing, when it comes down to it, what proofs do you actually have? Now, I've been in a lucky position because somebody challenged me. I mean, seriously challenged me for something that I thought I knew, which, turns out I did, right? We all know things, but we don't know how we know them. Well, somebody challenged me, and I found a way to how I knew the thing that I knew at the beginning. My knowledge of the thing didn't change. I already knew it, but I was able to find a proof of that thing. So I have a proof of the thing that I already know, but I don't think many people have been lucky enough to do that thing. So I think when people say they know something, they don't really have a proof to go with it. They just know it. Don't know how they know it. And then it becomes difficult because it seems like your knowledge is being challenged by somebody who's just questioning you about a proof or anything. It doesn't really make any difference.
Yeah, I guess something you thought, that you would say to yourself, and then you're challenged and you feel like you need to demonstrate it, you need to show it in some physical form, a tangible way. It becomes a bit of a challenge, some of those things,
Yeah. I mean, for me
some
to
are
actually
conceptual things we know.
Yeah, for me to come up with an answer to how I know it, or can you prove that, and me to be able to say, yes, here's how I did it. Now, that's my proof. But it seems like people can't even listen to those sort of things because that proof question, it challenges people on a belief thing, right? Because if you're challenged for something that you know and there's no proof there's something that sort of says to you have to admit that it's just a belief, right? Your knowledge is challenged, and well, I say me, I was challenged. I realized I didn't really know it, or there was nothing tangible that I could say as to why I knew it. Now I do. I've got it.
Yeah.
Constance
yeah, I mean, this
says
arena tends to kind of push you to that, to extremes that you never thought you'd have to go to ask yourself, do I actually know this? How do I know this? Could I demonstrate it? Or what word can I use or not use? It becomes a bit difficult. It's not just like an everyday conversation where you can work through it and say what would be deemed to be the wrong terms in a sense. If you say flat out of turn or whatever, in this arena, it can become pretty tricky to have those conversations.
Yeah, you have to have you have to have all of the terms in place, and you have to be able to have your logic framework so you can lead people from the beginning to the conclusion of the proof. But then you also need the rhetoric to be able to explain that process to multiple different types of people, right? You're going to have to explain it individually to people to help them, to go through it. And it may be difficult. Some people may not accept what you've taken as a proof. But, I mean, it's down to you. I mean, is somebody going to challenge you or whatever? All of this is personal stuff.
Definitely
isn't
a process.
It? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a process of learning, and this arena is quite good for that. It kind of develops the way you think. Oh, I didn't really clearly state that, or they didn't seem to understand it. What's a better way I can get to explain what I mean, and within within the limits of the arena of how what words you can say, or what subjects you can talk about, or what order you put the words in. Often, and you go, I shouldn't have done. And then you think, you hear somebody else think, that's how you have to say it. That's how it should be said. So it can even be allowed to be said almost. It's certain rules that seem to have to be followed, which can be quite, hampering. But and other times it's part of the learning process. But he's obviously overstepped the line in some ways recently.
Yeah, Constance says, we Just put it in quotes. Fundamentalist Christians were constantly challenged between our faith and the scientific knowledge. Also in funny is. Glad to be off that crazy train now that we know a better way to test and prove things.
Yeah, but I wonder whether the world is heading that way. This more of a religious thing, a biblical thing versus some other books thing. There's quite a lot of that going on in the world between a couple of groups facing off against each other generally.
Religions
whatever that
change,
might
don't
be.
they?
In that case,
I mean, like you think about,
and that's growing and is a threatening thing.
Yeah, they had Ra and the sun god, but back then, I mean, stories of those sort of things. Yeah. So the religions change and the gods change, I would imagine, but the gods that man make change. But
yeah, and I mean, we're seeing that play out on the streets, in the UK a lot recently. It is between. It is that really, isn't it? It's kind of a, will come down to religious type of thing, faith thing. I wonder how far that's going to go and how much this that's been brought into this topic and in the arena and wrapped around models or models wrapped around it. How much of that is a mirror of society, or where it's going to go, where it's headed.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, if somebody's saying that you've been indoctrinated into a religion, what must their idea of religion be? Something that you can be subversively taught through an education system. Without direct teaching as well, because this is got to be sort of subversive, right? Because you don't know about it.
Yeah. I suppose the rhetoric is spoken around, some the globe models particularly, because it tends to come more from the flat earthers. But it's a religious thing. The globe is your religious belief. It's often put to people in that way.
I don't know. Don't they say that the flat earthers are the religious ones? So I don't know whether what's going on. To be honest.
And when they talk about models, it seems, when I hear people talk, I don't hear the globers saying, this flat earth religion. I tend to hear it more, posed to the globers. But yeah, you're right. Lots of flat earthers, are saying, this brought me to the creator. I was an atheist, but now I believe in a creator or a god or whatever their personal thing is. Yeah, that seems more so.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. Like, brought me to God.
No.
Just actual thinking about things, or the flat Earth. Because I can't see an oxymoron bringing you to God. I mean,
I suppose
it doesn't work for me.
In that ontological thing, like, it's either the Big Bang or it's a creator within the arena.
Yeah,
it seems, make a choice of one or the other kind of thing, and can't agree with one thing when you say it's a globe. It can't be that as well. So it's like there's no way out. But they are belief systems. Like I was saying earlier, that when you tell somebody that, what are you replacing it with? What are you suggesting? Because it's Oakley again in this case. He's telling them that they've got a religion they never knew they were trained in, but then tells them something else to replace it. It's not that. It's actually this.
It's measured flat. Yeah, he says it's measured flat, which is another nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, that's just as nonsense as him telling somebody that that they've been indoctrinated into a religion that they never knew they had.
Yeah, and that's what I found, because the question initially that I was hearing was, what do you believe and what do you know? And and talking about, how you're indoctrinated into a model. And I know the flat earthers keep saying they haven't got a model, but they do constantly draw pictures all the time. Everything pretty much. So we haven't got a model. Concentric circles around the North Pole. Well, that's a model. It paints pictures in people's minds. So, and I thought, well, they're just replacing one model with another, one belief system with another belief system, and that's what led me to want to question it. Well, okay, how does that work then? How does this alternative belief system model, how does that work then? Let me see if that works in my reality, and that's led to these issues. These
but they're issues for you.
Pastor, can you explain?
Yeah, they're issues for you, aren't they? Right. So if you've got issues within a religion, you go and see the pastor, or like your religious leader. So who is it that you go and see? Once somebody's told you that you've been indoctrinated into a religion that you never knew you had, who do you go to seek counsel about this thing? I mean, hopefully it's not in this fucking stupid arena, because you'll find out that you can't ask any questions about this to this group of people. That's the strange thing. Like how they fight against it and what it is, what the religion is.
Yeah.
Some of the strangest shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to the leader of the source of the Earth is measured flat and got chucked out, and you've spoken to many, many more people, of the leaders of all sorts of proposals and ideas and models, and far more than I have, and you pretty much had the same treatment, And then when you talk to the congregation, they claim they talk like the pastor, but they claim they're nothing to do with the pastor. And when you ask them how to explain what the pastor said, because the pastor won't entertain you, they then don't want to entertain you either. And so you get pushed back further and further, into the pews. And so you got to then listen at the door outside. Think, oh well, I'll go down the road.
You end up
there's
thinking,
a group down there.
I'll go to a different church, right? I mean, I don't even know
what
this
happy,
is.
Clappy one down there.
What's happened here? The Globe Church just down the road, 'tis Globe, are singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Like, what are these people doing?
Yeah, when you find some sanctuary there.
Yeah.
Yes. You find sanctuary there and some sanity, some sense of sanity, then you're further kind of outcast because of that. That and so you become a Bevite.
Well,
Bebtard, because you just went to a room that was, welcoming, open. Yeah,
asking questions about a religion that we never knew that we had, right? Yeah. Everybody's been indoctrinated into it. Like, why can't we ask questions about it?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know that we had it.
Taught a religion.
Yeah, nobody else knew anything about it. Nathan Oakley's the one going around telling people. Surely somebody must know about what the fuck he's going on about, because he makes it that hard. You can't talk to him. So why not go and talk to his sycophant army? The ones that thrive off the flat earth debate type communication techniques. They should be the ones that know. They're the ones that talk to him. They've got all their little close-knit group, haven't they? They all talk in the back channels about stuff. They've all decided that you can't talk about this, or we can't talk about it. I don't know what it's going to be like if anybody else wants to go out there and talk about it, or whether they're going to think if anybody does, then they become some sort of connected to us because of just asking the questions about the religion. Are we ready to get through and listening to the conversation, Ray? Because you were part of this the other day, Ray. So the way this conversation happened, right? I wake up in the morning and Bloods, Elder Bear and Mishu are sat in politics and religion 24/7. And there's nobody in the Discord here, on the level. So I go over there and have a chat. And so there's 4 of us. in the room, just having a chat about stuff, and people start coming in. So this is the conversation from us being in that room and talking to people. Now you'll find that at the end of this 2 hours, once I leave this room, I was muted, and then we were banned for conducting a raid, for doing exactly what we did here, apart from we were muted, right, when we got banned. So this is us. We just sat there having a chat. Somebody comes in, and then this is the conversation that goes on. All right, you guys are in the thing here. It's going to be difficult. This is how our conversations always go. But, you know, we have these conversations so you don't have to.
Here.
Here we go.
Does anyone
Hello there.
with this flat?
Pardon?
You what?
What?
Does anyone think the Earth is flat?
Nah. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
nobody in here, afraid. We've got the wrong room for flat.
Ridiculous.
It says 24/7 flat Earth.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
we've been watching some videos and seen this flat earther going around telling everybody that they've been indoctrinated into a religion. So I thought this would be the best place to come. Have you heard about this?
What did you just say? I don't even know what you just said.
One of the leading flat earthers from this crew of 24/7 flat earther groups
Okay.
going around telling people that they've been indoctrinated into a religion.
Okay, so one random guy said he's in a new religion.
No.
It's not
He's
random.
going round telling people like you that you've been indoctrinated into a religion.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
saying that thinking the Earth is a globe is like a pseudo religion.
Yeah, because he says that
Heliosorcery.
he said you were taught it, indoctrinated it in the school system. So I'm just wondering, like, what were you taught about this? Like, if he's saying you've been indoctrinated into a religion within the education system, what was it that you remember the most about globe in your schooling? Like, in order for you to be indoctrinated, what was it that you were taught about globe in your school system? Can you remember?
Yeah, like the way the way gravity works, and
What
the
did
fact
they
that
tell you about that in school though?
about gravity.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of when you have a lot of mass in one area, it tends to pull space towards that area. So that's basically how gravity works.
You got taught that in school, did you?
Yeah.
Can you remember what class it was?
Physics.
Physics. So do you
Yeah.
think, did you think at the time your physics teacher was indoctrinating you into a religion by telling you that?
I mean, we're definitely being indoctrinated, but call it a religion. I mean, there's a difference between science and religion. It's not a religion, it's science.
Yeah, but I think that's what these flat earthers are saying, that science is becoming a religion. And like this is saying that people are unaware of it. So he's getting some benefit out of saying to people like you and me and just normal people that they've been indoctrinated into a religion, and he's the one that's telling us that.
Yeah, it's not a religion, because in order for it to be a religion, you would have to just like believe something without any evidence, just having pure faith, without any reason.
Without proof.
Yeah,
right?
we have
because
proof.
if you don't have proof, then all you have is faith and belief, right? You've got no. It's all right having evidence, right? But you have to put the pieces together to formulate a proof. Otherwise, you might be part of a faith-based system. And I don't think science isn't a faith-based system, is it? I mean, that's not the way science works.
Yeah, science works on proofs and evidence, and we have the proof and evidence that the Earth is a globe. Do you understand the difference?
Well, yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people about this, like a lot. And are you aware that some people say that there is no proof? Like, if you say that there's proof, like a 100% statement within science, then they call that pseudoscience. So all of this is about to get really mixed up in a religion proof thing. Right, I've been.
No, I honestly don't know what more you guys want from science.
What do you mean, you guys? Whoa.
People who deny the globe.
Run.
Yeah.
I want everything from science. I want everything.
Okay, well, I have. I'm the one that's sort of putting together at the minute the proof for Dave Weiss. So, because I want that Bitcoin off him, I can't imagine why nobody's given Dave Weiss a proof of globe yet. It seems crazy to me.
How do you think we even send satellites in orbit? Like, how do you even think that works?
That's
how
rockets.
Do you think
rockets, right?
Yeah,
anyone
in orbit,
could answer that.
Understand?
Yeah.
Do you know what orbit means?
It's
You know what?
wait a minute. It's a straight line that
space
returns on itself mathematically.
Exactly.
Right. So
A straight line that returns on itself.
You've got proof, right, of globe.
Yeah.
And why has nobody presented that to Dave Weiss? That's my job. I'm going to do that.
Because Dave Weiss isn't. He doesn't. It's already been proven. He's just not accepting it. Like,
he's not accepting what?
The proof.
Okay. So what proofs have been presented? Have you tried to present Dave Weiss a proof? Your proof of globe? Now, don't give it away. Don't give it away because I don't want to take your proof off you. Right?
I would never try to present him proof because the Earth is flat.
See, there you go. Look
again.
God. We've got a flat earther in here. Now, do you think, being a flat earther, that people have been indoctrinated into a religion within the school system?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
it's a globalist religion. I agree with you completely.
Globalist religion. I'm not saying people have been indoctrinated into a religion. I mean, I think I am personally. You can't go round telling people that they've been indoctrinated within a school system.
I can. I do it all the time.
Go on. What?
Well,
which lesson?
Schooling.
Which lesson is it within school that does the indoctrination
The entirety
part?
of schooling is a government endeavor. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. Well, but where? Just pause it for a moment here because this guy's just joined in, and I'm always a bit wary of people that join into these conversations, but then seem to be able to speak freely and readily and openly like this, because it's hard to trust people within this arena. You'll find there's a lot of people that live on this. I don't know. They call it Blarney in Ireland, and they probably have terms for it in all sorts of different countries. It's just shit talk. People who like to challenge the very fact that they can argue anything. They're like sophists. I call them modern day sophists. Except they don't really have an idea of a logical form for getting proof. They just have a way to argue anything. And this guy's come in and he's going to pretend to be a flat earther, obviously. And there's a lot of people, you've got to be aware of people like this. This guy's not a real flat earther. He's playing both sides, sort of more of a flat earth society guy. And this will develop as it goes on a little bit later. You'll see who his partners are. But he's just come in and he's entered this conversation. We were just having a conversation with this other guy about, globe. But now enter the flat earther, fake flat earther. There is, though, within the curriculum, Where's the part? Can you point to the part within the curriculum that you find the most offensive within the
Yes.
indoctrination? Go on then. Which one?
Yes, I can. It's the part about globalism. The part that says it's a good thing.
The
The
part
part
that
that says
says
a globally
globalism
interconnected
is a good
society is
thing.
a good thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I agree
what's
with you.
which part's that in within the
Every
curriculum?
American textbook. Are you kidding me? Every American textbook in social sciences, they're
Well,
what they
I live in the
propagandistically renamed
UK.
history.
I live in the UK.
They tell the same fucking story there because it's all part of the same system. It's Bretton Woods, bro.
Okay, so you could point to it within the curriculum.
Yes.
Okay.
Literally everything about globalism is a lie. Total fucking lie.
Okay, and
Total fabrication. It's moral fabrication.
what are
primarily.
you taught about that? Because I can't remember being taught anything about globalism in the school system. It was a long time ago, but I can't remember it.
Well, it depends. How old are you?
53.
15.
He said
Times
50,
three?
50.
Well,
53.
53.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense because you were kind of in the middle of the globalist project. But as far as I went, as like a 24-year-old, or actually I'm 27 now, but
So it's
I'm
changed
thinking,
then, are you saying?
oh, it's absolutely changed. Are you kidding me? They fucking shove globalism in front of you like it's the greatest thing that's ever been invented. Like it's like the lifeblood of all of reality. And technically, the mechanized society, it is.
Okay.
It is
And
totally.
do
the lifeblood
you
of all.
have a proof of globe then?
I disbelieve it in a philosophical concept. I think the world shouldn't be a globe philosophically.
Okay.
I don't care what it is physically. I think philosophically it shouldn't be.
So what do you think globe
I
is?
don't think it shouldn't be. Like, as
Is
if
globe a shape?
reality is some sort of like thing that needs to follow your philosophy.
But is globe a shape? Like what exactly is
What
globe to
everyone
you?
thinks. Globe to me is it's an economic idea primarily because before economics shaped out, it was just a map. Nobody gave a shit that it was a globe. Before the economic dominion of globalism, there was no concept of globe as like an object. It's like a thing that we live on.
It's a
Right.
shape.
Before globalism, the world was flat for everybody. Are you kidding me? That's politically and philosophically and culturally the world should be to most people. It should be
Economically flat?
Yes. Yes, it should not be an interlinked connection of states and economies supported by an artificial network of technological military dominance. Okay, it should not be that. It should be segmented. It should be localized. It should be geopolitical. It should be flat. The Earth should be held up by the four mountains in the corners of your nation. Right? They shouldn't be. The world should not be this geometric shape that can be defined mathematically. It shouldn't be.
A globe isn't a geometric shape. Just to put you on that one.
Do you realize how he's saying it shouldn't be? As if like
I know. Well, he's
there's like
putting it
some
as
morals.
an economic thing. Like a globe to
this
most
is a
people is a
physical thing.
shape, but now
This is
this
a
is
physical thing that needs to obey like
And yet,
reality. It
and
doesn't
yet
need to
before
obey your
it wasn't
philosophy or
a
your
globe.
ethics.
And yet before globalism, it wasn't a globe. It was a flat space. It was an area through which you sent trade routes. It was
Because they
a
didn't
map,
know what the hell they were talking about.
and that's the way it should have stayed.
But this seems like it's getting all confused, right? No wonder people are considering this as part of religion, because it seems so fragmented. I mean, where do you put your finger on it to be able to prove globe? Because, I mean, can you
It's
come
fairly
from the other
easy,
side,
actually.
right? I mean, I can prove globe, no problem. But turning that round, how do you prove flat? How, you know?
Through nonsense. They don't prove
You
it,
don't
actually.
you don't need to prove flat. It is. It is. Most people think so. When you
It's
look out
it's
across the
just an
horizon, it looks
axiom,
flat.
right? It's just a basic thing, but it's obviously not flat. I can
Oh, but
see
it
it's
is
not
flat.
flat.
I can see it is flat. If I look out of the horizon, if I go into some tall place, it's flat. I see it. It spans all around me.
Well,
It's
the
flat.
But you're not going to be
horizon,
able to see it like just standing on like the ground. You're going to have to like,
What I
send like
can't see
a
doesn't
camera
matter.
to space or something.
What I can't see doesn't matter. What matters is the world around me. That is what matters.
yeah. So you're
that's gonna
saying
get
that
you
you
very
can
far.
see the horizon, right? Not obviously not a topographic horizon, right? Just a horizon over water, and look at it and say, what, that looks flat. Therefore, I can see it's flat.
How can that not be good? How can that
That's
not be
basically their logic.
well? How can that not be
It's
the best
not
thing for most
logic, that.
people? Who cares? Who cares that the world? I don't care that the world is a globe. How does that affect me? I
No,
only give
no.
a shit about what goes on in America.
Well, I know, but
It affects trade.
can I just go over the process, right? So you're out at the beach looking over water, and you look at it and say, obviously there's waves and tides, so you can't say it's flat, but you're looking at the horizon and you say that's flat. And then
Yeah.
What comes next, right? Where's the, how
Nothing
does
needs
the
to come next.
implications of it like follow from that, or is that it? Is that the
Nothing
limit
needs
of
to
your
come next.
what?
Nothing needs to come next. The
So
limit
that's
of
it.
your world.
As soon as you look
can
at the
just be that.
horizon, say that looks flat. That's your outlook on flat Earth, right?
Yes, that is
Right,
flat.
okay.
It's flat
And
to me. I don't-
because you've got some idea that a globe doesn't have a horizon like that.
I don't care what a globe has.
Yeah,
All I
but
care
that,
is what I see in
the
front of me in
globe
real
has
life. I
the
don't care what
same
That's simple
I don't care
horizon.
what the geometrics say.
It's the same horizon on a globe, isn't it?
I don't care. I don't care.
But but your reasoning.
Flat to me.
This person isn't interested in learning, the facts. They think, just because it doesn't affect their lives, that they should just base
How
it
does
off
it
what
affect your
they
life?
could tell.
How does it affect your life?
It affects the way humans trade with other nations, how we communicate with each other,
Are
how
you
we
involved in the
travel.
trade
No,
network?
this is how
Are
we
you involved in the
communicate
trade
with
network?
each other. Not with trade. Like, we are communicating with each other right now.
Yeah,
Aren't
using
we?
satellites. Okay, we used a lot
Okay,
of
but are
science
you
to
a
get to this
satellite
point.
technician? Are you an engineer? What does it matter what you believe?
I know. I think you're missing the point. I mean,
There's no
me
point at
and
all.
you
We
are
as the humanity
communicating
need to
now,
agree with
and we're
this.
both looking at
We
the
don't.
same horizon. Are we not?
Humanity doesn't need to agree on anything for it to do anything. It doesn't need to agree on
In
anything.
in a scientific sense, it does. If you don't, if you're claiming that what you're saying isn't science, then go ahead, believe whatever nonsense you want to. But if you want to join into, doing
What is
any
your
job that
job?
requires science, if you
What
want to
is
have a
your
job that
job?
requires science,
It's
What do you do?
religion,
don't worry about
guys.
that.
Don't
No, what
don't
do
Let's
you
take
let's
it
do?
to
keep
the
this on
science,
this.
What
right? Because he
in what
thinks
way
that's
does
religion.
science and what way does science
Oh, this guy reminds me of this
play
one
into
kid
your
at
life?
school who says, "Oh, what do we need to know all these fucking mathematics for?" Okay, if you have a job,
Do you use them?
so
Do you
are
use
you
them
basically
now?
saying we don't need to learn mathematics?
No.
Or
Do
we don't
you
need to
use
believe?
the
Actually, I'm
mathematics that
saying
you learned in school? Do you use them?
a better question would be: do you think we should believe this the mathematics that they teach us in school actually makes sense?
Do you think
No.
a
What
lesson in
matters is if they're
school would
useful
be
to you.
good if they said, look at the horizon and therefore it's a globe? Do
They
you
don't need
reckon
to tell
that
you
would
that.
be
It's self-evident.
something that would be
It's
good
self-evident that it's
for
not a
them to
globe. It's
teach at
self-evident that it's
school? Well, how? What do you mean?
self-evident that it's flat.
What's flat?
Earth.
No, you're saying the horizon is
No,
horizontal,
from my
right?
perspective as a little human being, it's fucking flat. I walk out and I look at the horizon. I go to a tall building and look at the horizon.
But the
It's flat.
horizon's
It doesn't look like a
horizontal
sphere.
on a globe too, isn't it?
I don't care. Why does it matter to me? I don't work a job that makes me think about the curvature of the Earth. Why the fuck does it matter to me? Why the fuck does it matter to anybody?
Fair enough.
What?
You don't have to believe it. Just don't try to
The point is,
uh,
why are you arguing
make.
about it if it doesn't matter to you? It
No, I'm
really
saying
doesn't
it
matter
shouldn't
beyond
matter
what
to you.
you
It matters to me.
think.
But if you don't care
What do
about
you
it,
do?
then you don't need to fucking use it. And
What do you do?
you
What do you
shouldn't
do
make
to
your
where it matters?
decisions based off of it.
What do you do to where it matters?
Well, we came in here to try and find out the
I learn
religion
about
aspect,
science, and
guys.
I make my decisions based off the science that I learn.
What do you do? What job do you
Do you
fulfill in our
think the
society that
science
requires
he's
you to know
talking
this?
I don't
about
have
is
a job that
religion?
requires.
I
I
think
don't
it is.
have a
Yeah, I
job that
think it is a
requires
religion of a
this.
sort.
Yeah. So he thinks your science is religion. Do you think your science has a religious aspect to it, or do you think science is completely separate to religion? Oh, he's gone. Right, come on.
Oh,
He's gone. I'm asking you, do you think science is separate to religion, or do you think a science is another religion?
I think science is a tool. It's a very useful tool. But I think it has been turned into a religion in the absence of religion in our civilization as a collective whole, and I think it's been turned into this vast subconscious conspiracy of minds that I think a lot of people buy into.
But science has proof. And that's
Yeah, but
one
that
thing
doesn't
that you don't
matter.
have within a religion.
It doesn't matter. That's not what religion's for.
No,
Religion is
religion's
not
for
for-
faith. It's to test your faith, religion.
Religion
And
is for
science
the
doesn't
spirit.
do that, does it?
It does not.
Oh, well, so how
But
can
it
you say
tries to.
science is a religion then?
It tries to in modernity. It really does.
How does
really
it try
does.
to? How does science try to be a religion if there's
through
proof
technology
within
primarily.
science?
Technology tries to be a religion.
How?
Well, when you get sick, where do you go?
When I get sick,
You get so sick that you feel like you're going to die, and you need to go somewhere to get to
a
return your
doctor,
faith in life. You go to the doctor. Why do you go to the doctor?
because the doctor's the one that tells you how to heal yourself.
Because he knows. Because he knows. Why does he know?
Because he's been through the education system to
Because
teach
the
him
education
about
system is based on science.
medical, the medical sciences, right? Healing.
Right. So, science says it has a monopoly on well-being, on physical well-being. It says it has a monopoly on spiritual well-being too, when we define things like global human rights, like everyone should have fresh water and food and internet and safety and satiety. Everyone should have a warm bed and heating and electricity, right? That's what science says when it
Yeah.
tries to define human rights. It says everyone should have a technology. Everyone should have a technologicalized, comfortable existence. That's what science does to try and replace religion. Use technology.
Right, and you think that's a religion?
I think it tries to function as a religion, and I
'Cause
think for most
religion
people
doesn't
that's
do
what
that,
functions
does
as
it?
religion. It doesn't, and it's replaced religion in a really bad way. I think there are entire
So they've
civilizations
replaced
collapsing
religion
under
with
this.
something that isn't a religion, but you now want to
Well, our entire
call it a
civilization
religion.
collapses. Well, our entire civilization collapses like it's doing right now.
Because they've changed their idea. I don't know. I've never changed my idea on what religion is, right? Religion is something you can never have proof of. This is the creator, a god,
Not what it's supposed
right?
to be for, though.
You can't communicate with gods. So
Religion is
therefore
supposed to be reality.
it's placed within a faith-based system where it's up to you, your personal faith. Nobody wants to challenge anybody else's faiths, right? Because
This is only in a
that's
modern
something to them.
context, though. That this individualistic idea of faith is only exists in a modern context, right? In ancient context, your faith would be dictated by what you were born into, because your
wouldn't
faith
know.
would dictate the structure of your society.
How do you know this?
This is all of history. Are you kidding me?
It's what you've been told.
No, this is all of history. This is recorded fucking history. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, shadows. Like who
No,
told you
civilization.
this? Are you
Ruins.
saying that this is what? This is where the religion
the
is,
ruins
right?
of the greatness that we've left behind. Are you kidding me? What? Did you say?
History, then.
Real history. Yes.
Yeah, this is the history within
not the fake
school
history, that's
system,
right.
right?
No. That's fake history.
Okay, so where do you learn this history?
Ruins.
Not in
Ruins of the old
school.
world. Ruins of the old world.
Okay, but so you don't learn that in the school system.
God, no, nobody learns that in the school system. Are you kidding me?
History, they do. It's one of the things.
No,
that
they don't learn that,
we
that
were
God
taught.
was once the necessity of life. It was once the soma of entire civilizations. They don't learn that. You kidding me? No, they learn that God was the stupid, goofy idea that we came up with before we had this glorious invention of globalization. That's what they teach in world history nowadays. You kidding me? They don't teach anything about God. They don't teach anything about the reality of God and human civilization. No, they don't. You kidding me?
What is it within the religion then? Because I had to do religion when I was at school. Is that?
No, the religion has been completely co-opted by the state. All religion has been completely co-opted by state powers. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Like I'm telling you, I'm asking you at the minute. Like you're the one that's telling. Right. So obviously, this is a tricky conversation, right? And people are dropping off. They don't want to listen to this. Nobody really wants to deal with somebody, you know, like, because this is putting a blocker on the actual conversation that we want to have here. That this conversation, I don't know. Like I said earlier, when somebody talks this much within these rooms and is allowed to talk that much, because obviously when the mods come in, you'll see a change, and that's quite a way off. I don't know whether to just skip a fair bit of this, because
experiments, that's how that works. If
knowledge within a certain subject is the science of that subject.
Let me ask you something. Is the Roman civilization proof?
I haven't got a clue. That doesn't seem to make sense. There's no argument there, so no.
No, there is an argument there. The Roman civilization.
What was the argument?
We have structures that people still use for their intended purpose from the Roman civilization. The Roman civilization built something. It is proven to exist. It doesn't need science. You don't need to test it. It's there. It's material. You can go and touch it. Right? It's there in front of you. You can go and see it. Right? It is right there. The civilization that created that bathhouse, that aqueduct, that road. There's literally roads that exist from the Roman period. We have evidence of their culture without needing to scientifically test it at all. We have evidence that they existed. Beyond science, beyond any necessary, you can go and see it. You can go and touch it. You can go and walk the road. Right? And you're telling me you need science to guide you through the world? You can look at the world. You can feel the world. You can be in the world. You can interact with the people around you. You don't need science to tell you anything that's going on in the world around you.
You're talking over me, right? But what I'm saying is, science is the acquisition of knowledge within a particular subject. So, for instance, you would say logic is the science of reasoning. Mathematics.
We would not at all say that.
Who wouldn't say that?
I wouldn't say that at all. I would say logic and reasoning are fucking synonymous. It's the same fucking word.
Yeah, the science. Logic is the science of reasoning. How you learn stuff through the process of reasoning.
But you realize logic is relative, right? Logic is contextual. So what may be logical on a microscopic standpoint is not logical on a macro.
Okay, so like this guy said, he's 24. And he's got a quick talking mouth, right? And he's being allowed to talk quite a lot about different things. And he seems to be an expert on just about everything. And this is to go to show, right? We're after conversation, but I'm not particularly after this sort of conversation where somebody's just sort of telling me everything that they think that they know about it without us having a conversation about what we actually wanted to have a conversation about. He's telling us about logic, how it's relative.
Microscopic standpoint.
Yeah,
so
your technique of argument.
You can't use that as a universal locus. You can't use that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's logical.
If you just keep talking, it doesn't help out. But your process of logic isn't correct, is it? You haven't made an argument through logic and used reasoning to come to a conclusion. You've just stated some bullshit.
And yet the world keeps on spinning.
Wait, because logic would be a thought process, right?
The reasoning part is where you place facts together to realize something.
The realization, the acknowledgement of something to be true, right? Then something follows from that, right? That would be logic, right?
Yes.
Well, I don't need logic to determine that something is true. I can see it. I can touch it. Here, it's right in front of me.
Yeah.
You're saying that's not important to anything.
This flat earther.
Did you honestly say that
yes.
logic isn't insignificant? It doesn't matter. It's not important.
It's a justification at most.
Yep. That's what we have to
World
deal
exists.
with. I mean, this guy is telling people who actually follow science, this process of reasoning, that they're following a religion. He doesn't need that religion.
I don't.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we have to deal with. It's 2024.
It is.
We've got
I'm an
people running
anti-modern
around telling
through and through.
people that they've been indoctrinated into a religion
Are you a
within
flat
the
earther?
school system.
Are you a flat earther?
No,
You're not a flat earther.
not a flat earther, no.
So you're a pro-modern.
I'm a what?
You're pro-modern.
I don't know. You're throwing labels around like it's your job to do
Pro-modernity.
that.
You like modernity. You
Still
like the
not got a
cars,
clue
you
what
like-
you're talking about. Try and keep
You
him
like the cars,
in the
you like the
language
science,
that
you
we
like the
can
air
all
conditioning.
understand.
You like the electricity. You like the you know, the fucking delivery
they're
to your doorstep
useful.
within a day.
They're useful tools, yes.
Oh, they're useful. Oh, well, I'm an anti-modern. I'm anti all those things. I think they should be removed. I think they should remove fucking prejudice. I think they should be fucking burned. That's what I
How
think.
are we talking right now?
I want to ask you. I want to ask you. Nomad.
Yes.
What would you call someone who doesn't say the Earth is flat, says the Earth is not a globe?
Someone who says the Earth is flat.
Someone who
You're asking what I
doesn't
call
say the Earth is flat, who says maybe the Earth is not flat, right? And then they turn around and tell you the Earth is not a globe.
'Tis globe, we say.
I say that's awesome and based, and I totally support that as an idea.
Got proof of
I'd
globe.
say that's fucking awesome. That's epic. I like that. I like non-Euclidean globers. That's very fun. BRB.
What would you call somebody who says that the Earth's flat and they don't need any reasoning or logic to be able to say that? What about that?
I'd call that based. I'd call that
Yeah.
absolutely and 100% based.
And you do realise that your name is No. How do you know anything?
Because you can know without science, without reason, without logic, without proof, you can know things. That is true.
Go on. How do you know things then?
Well, 1 second. I do have to relieve myself, as it were. So, BRB.
Okay. It's an interesting conversation about knowledge, right? How do you know? I asked somebody the other day. I said, how much faith do you have within yourself for your knowledge gaining system? So the things that you know, how much faith do you have within yourself for gaining that knowledge? This guy here, he already knows it. It's an axiom to him.
I don't even really think about it like that much. Like I'm just like approach reality, right? Or am experiencing it, right? And I may approach certain situations during my life, during the day. I'm not asleep, and where I will like want to perform an action, right? And to do that, I may need to have certain understanding, right, which you could call knowledge. If I do this, then I can achieve.
This is true. This is a good view of knowledge. I think this is a productive view of knowledge. But if you're
Kind of
asking
just an
me how
organic process, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
If
That's what
this,
I'm arguing.
then this. Conclusion.
But the thing is,
conclusion is the thing that you know, right? And but what I'm saying is, how much faith do you have that conclusion is the correct conclusion? Because you have to have faith within yourself to do that in order to then call that knowledge.
I have full and total faith in myself.
Because of the outcome, like, I mean, that's how you know that did the right thing, right? That you want, or did the thing that was required in order to achieve something.
So that's the
See the
scientific
change.
process, right? And
No,
that is
there
involved
doesn't need to be a scientific process.
multiple different subjects, right? That's the idea of you proving things.
No. It is an intuitive process. It is not a scientific process. I do not when I make a mistake in the world, I don't go out and I measure that mistake in a scientific way and then ask people to peer review my mistake. I consider my contextual reality. I consider my own emotions. I consider my morals as instilled by me and my civilization, which is something beyond science, beyond what can be taught to you mechanically about the universe, right? I consider all of these things, and that's how I decide what I know. Right? What I know is beyond what can be told to me scientifically, because science as a process is very blunt and difficult and time consuming and requires a lot of effort for very, very narrow results. Nobody determines their life on science alone. If they do, then they're a fool and they believe in science as a religion. Science is a very narrow tool. It is a hammer. You don't always need a hammer. Sometimes you need a hammer, but sometimes you need another tool other than science, and there are a plethora of tools for knowing things outside of science, including personal experience.
But that is the difference that we have, right? I'll say it again, science is the acquisition of knowledge within a particular subject. Now, that particular subject could be knitting. So the science of knitting would be getting the knowledge of knowing the stitches and the weaves and how to put this cotton, whatever fibre you're using to make the structure of the thing, right? That's the science of knitting. And somebody who's gone into that would have that knowledge, and they would be able to speak of that through an expression of their knowledge that they've already learned. Now, that could happen in every subject. So what you deem as science may be deemed as something different to other people.
Oh, what science is, functionally, is a method of peer review experiments on the world, the forming of hypotheses, right, that forms a framework through which you can understand material reality. That's what science is. That is not a collective of knitters learning how to knit together. Science is a very specific thing. If you're using science,
yeah, you're talking about modern science.
I'm talking about
science. You should differentiate, right? You're talking about modern science since Bacon, right? 1600s.
But this is the process of science that has produced all these modern miracles, which is what the faith of science is based off of. Realize, right? Like this is the essence of what has created the modern world. This is the essence of what has created the technologized world. This is the essence of what has created the managerial world. The mechanical fruits of science themselves have replaced that idea of science and have replaced that.
Not to me, it hasn't. I'm old school. I consider people who do joinery to be doing the science of woodwork.
Well, fair enough, but that's not what most people consider science. What most people consider science are airplanes.
Yeah,
cars.
Can you understand
guns.
though that people like me get highly offended when people go around saying that you've been indoctrinated into a religion? Because I consider that as knowledge, right? Now, is that a religion? Somebody telling you that you've been indoctrinated into a system where you gain knowledge about things.
Where do you think science came from as an institution?
It's not.
It's not. Where do you think the development of science came
Science doesn't have a voice.
It came from Christian monks, literally learning to write, like literally studying the physical world in pursuit of God, right? That's literally where it came from.
From where?
Christian monks.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Elder Bear, you got a hot mic.
Sorry.
Loading the car up. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Science. isn't and wasn't invented by Christian monks. Who taught you that? Was that in your history lesson?
Who taught you that they don't? Who taught you that they didn't? Where does science come from then?
Science is way older than Christianity and the monks.
Oh, so we believe in the ancient mythic science, the mythic god of science.
No, just the acquisition of knowledge.
I don't think that can be adequately described as science. I think that's a very silly use of the word, but fair enough, if that's what you want.
It definitely wasn't invented by Christian monks.
I think that's a very religious use of the word science. It's something that we've always had and has always existed with us.
You can't, if you're finding proofs and truths within
God,
it, then it's not a religion.
It sounds like a religion the way you describe it. It really does.
That's why the globe isn't going to be proved a religion, is it?
It is a religion, though, because it doesn't necessarily have to be true from a human perspective.
It's a shape. Nobody religifies a shape.
You know what the shape of the universe is?
Probably a globe.
No, it's a 4D inverted Mobius strip.
Wow. You know that,
Yeah.
do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I've looked into this actually, and if you look into it too, you'll find the veracity of that statement. Yet you don't need to know it to live in the universe, and yet you don't need to know it to have a wonderful.
But you do know it.
And yet I do know it, and yet it doesn't fucking matter, and yet it matters.
So it obviously mattered to you because you went to go and find out what it was. I don't know what it was. Like, you're the one that said it did. I said it was a globe.
Curiosity. Not a globe, though. See, now you have the outmoded view of
globe
the universe.
shape. Globe's a shape. It's not a globe. It's a shape.
Because the universe isn't a globe. It's an inverted 4D Mobius strip.
A globe's a shape.
Except I have the most modern view of the universe. You think it's a globe.
Yeah.
You think the universe is a globe? You're a globe universist?
It's a globe's a shape, yeah.
It's folly.
A globe is a non-geometric shape, which means it can't be described geometrically.
Yes, it can. What do you mean?
What, a globe?
I can describe a globe mathematically. What?
You can describe a globe mathematically, can you?
You put a little line under the 333 as it continues on forever. That's how you do that. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
What's that? Something that goes on forever.
Globe doesn't go on forever. Globe is finite space.
Is that what you said? You said you just put a little line underneath 333.
Yes, that indicates that it's infinitely recursive into itself.
Okay, so that's what you said a globe was.
No, infinitely recursive does not mean infinite space.
No, you said you could describe it mathematically, and then you went on to show that a mathematical expression.
I can describe infinity.
Is that how you would describe a globe mathematically?
Do you know I can describe infinity mathematically?
No, we're talking about a globe.
All I have to do is draw sideways 8, and I've done it.
Is that what you consider a globe to be?
Oh, because a globe is an infinite.
It is an infinite.
No, it's not. What?
Well, what are you saying then?
A globe isn't an infinite. It's finite. It's boundless, technically, but it's finite.
Okay, well, express that like Gabriel's horn, right? Come on, let us know. How do you describe the globe mathematically?
Do you want me to post it in chat? Do you want me to go and Google and search?
Just tell me now. Just tell me.
Bro.
Can you not? You not describe it mathematically, so it might just be non-Euclidean then, right?
Can you not? It's not non-Euclidean.
It's not non-Euclidean. So it is Euclidean. What?
I'm not even sure what you're arguing at this point.
I'm not arguing anything. I'm just trying to get off you. You seem to be going round and round in circles. Is the globe expressible mathematically like you said or not?
Sure.
It is?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Go on then.
Google it. It's the. Swear to God.
Google it. Is that
Literally
is that
Google
seriously your answer?
how to measure. Yes, Google it. That is my answer. Google the circumference of the globe. Google the square footage of the globe. Do it.
So that's mathematically
do
you
it.
expressing it, is it?
You can study it. Congratulations.
Well, I'm saying it's not that, right? It's definitely the globe is
Why would you say
definitely
that?
not a sphere.
What? Are you a flat earther?
No.
What? Oh, it's an ovoid. It's my
You
bad.
can
It's an
prove it's
ovoid.
not a sphere, right?
Technically a sphere. It's the little squish. That's right.
Okay, so it's not a sphere. Okay, so one step for me, closer. We know it's not a sphere, right? But you say it can be described mathematically. And can you describe the globe mathematically as not a sphere?
What?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get what his idea of it is. I'm saying the globe can be proved as a non-geometric shape.
Is it what?
Yeah.
Are you asking, can he do that? Can he describe it mathematically?
He said he can.
Yeah.
I've got a direct challenge saying that it's non-geometric.
Do you know that a flat plane is geometric? Do you know that an infinite flat plane is also geometric?
I know that a flat plane is a pleonasm. I know that a flat plane is a pleonasm. Because a plane...
I can measure that.
A plane is a plane.
So how am I saying that the Earth doesn't have to be geometrical?
A plane is two-dimensional.
Geometric.
Okay. That a plane is.
Okay.
What's flat?
Two-dimensional objects can exist in three-dimensional space.
What's
that works.
Flat? Because you're saying flat plane.
Flat plane. Do you not know geometry? Or do you not know math?
I know what a plane is. We've already explained that. It's a two-dimensional surface, right? It's not. It doesn't exist. It's non-existing. Tell me what flat is, because you're saying...
It exists right up from my front door.
Plane.
Flat. Two-dimensional plane.
A three-dimensional plane. Is that what flat is?
That's a two-dimensional plane existing in three-dimensional space. It's the Earth.
Well, that would be like just a plane, wouldn't it?
And yet, when I walk outside my front door, that's how it is.
Flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You live on Mount Everest?
Would that be flat?
Do you live on Mount Everest?
Would that be deemed as flat?
No, you'd be living on top of a mountain.
Okay, so not flat.
Well, everything except Mount Everest would be flat.
What about all the other mountains?
Will it be picking up above the
Is there only Everest that isn't flat, or all of the other mountains flat?
Well, they're mountains. They're not flat by definition. They stick out of
they're not flat.
Have you ever looked at a mountain?
Yes.
Jets out of the earth? Seen it?
It's not flat, yes.
You can stand on top of it. You can look out across the flat landscape.
Well, unless there's more mountains there.
Well, yeah, but that's an exception.
It's not flat. Yeah.
Except it kind of is. Except
the bits that aren't flat.
It all sticks to a plane. Except it all literally looks as though it's on a plane. So.
But a plane is two-dimensional.
And yet
it doesn't actually exist.
Well, it can't. We live in a three-dimensional world, so it can actually exist.
Yeah, reality is 3D. 2D things don't exist.
Says you.
There's no such thing as a 2D thing.
Says you.
Yeah, but you called it flat. You called that two-dimensional plane flat.
When I walk outside, that's what it is.
Is that you using flat as an orientation?
Yeah. It's a contextual logic. What do you mean? It's literally logic. It's contextual.
Okay. Now,
the Earth is flat
can you have flat being vertical?
It doesn't matter.
So
matter
a
'cause of
flat
gravity.
plane can
Gravity's
be
down.
any orientation.
No, the flat plane is gravity. It's down.
So
Literally
is the
stick to the plane as though it were flat.
so it does the flat in flat plane relate to an orientation?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously.
And that would be horizontal.
Yeah, I can't change the way gravity flows.
Okay.
Can you?
Now, so if you're saying that flat is horizontal, does that mean that vertical is an antonym of flat?
No. A vertical can be flat as well. Yeah,
Somebody else coming in.
of course. But
Well, there you go.
But
He's
it's kind of
just
like
proved
it's
that
almost like a cult.
his flat plane is a pleonasm.
Yeah, it's almost like a cultural or like colloquial cultural sort of generic. I don't know. The association is there though, and dictionaries do express that like that as flat as being horizontal orientation. And it's because it's just what I guess I don't know. It's just because we're oriented that way. We're just designed to like perceive the world in that manner, where we where we don't feel
Literally is
upside
reality.
down or slanted
Yeah, but
this
is the problem with using pleonasms, because one
There's no
person
problem
will
at
see
all.
it one way and
Why
another
is there a problem?
person will see it a different way, right? You're
Why is it-
incorporating vertical into
Except
flat.
nobody
This
sees
guy
it a different
isn't.
way.
This guy
Except
isn't.
nobody sees it a different way unless they're working in a context that works within a broader awareness of the body that we live on in space. Nobody sees it a different way except for the people who need to see it a different way.
There you
Literally,
go. Exactly.
I guess,
That's
like,
why
because
you
when
use
someone says-
pleonasms. Because there's two
Because when
different
someone says,
meanings.
like-
People can choose whatever they want.
when someone says like lie that plank down flat, please, right? You get the idea that when they say lie down, because you could stand it on its end, right, and lie it down, right? But you get the impression, right, naturally, that they're asking you to have the minimum elevation of
precisely.
it, right? Above
and not
whatever
only
see,
it's
that's
lying
why
on.
you wouldn't need that word. You just say lay it down or stand it up. You don't need
Well,
any
lay it down
extra
where? Lay it down on the
pleonasms.
People do use the
Lay it down
adjective.
flat.
They throw it in like, I don't want it slanted, right? I want it flat, right? I want it to lay down flat. I don't want it on a slant or slope, right? Leaning on anything, right? Like, this is the caveat, really. It's just like extra descriptor, right?
But not only is that
Instruction.
efficient, but you are wasting time if you mention that the Earth is a globe. Oh, but the Earth is a globe, sir. What do you mean by flat? It's like, fuck you. Nobody says that. Everyone understands that the world
The
is a
globe
flat
is a
fucking
non-geometric
plane
shape.
functionally. No, it's not. A globe is a geometric shape. What are you talking about?
It's not a
You measure
sphere.
globe.
It's not a sphere.
It's spheroid.
Well, the globe you have in
measurable.
your room, right, is... But that's not the same thing. We're not talking about that. That's just a representation,
Okay,
right?
what the fuck is the globe to you then?
It's a non-geometric shape.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Things
awesome.
that occur in reality, since the globe is obviously reality, right? Things that occur in reality go on the globe. Obviously. If you're
The globe
living
is
in
no
reality, and reality's tis globe, which everyone
You're a
knows
no
it is.
earther?
Just living in reality, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can get behind that. Fair enough. Reality is a flat plane, though.
But that's a nonsense.
It's not. I can see it with my own eyes. What do you mean?
Yeah,
You not
you're
trust your own
putting
eyes?
an orientation to flat.
No, I'm not. Gravity's doing it for me.
There you
Because
go.
it's gravity.
See, this is the problem with using pleonasms. A plane is
I can't
two-dimensional.
argue with gravity. Okay, go jump off a bridge. Argue with
Add
gravity.
a weird descriptor to it, like flat, and people can imagine it means anything.
I mean, people took jumped on every generalization, every colloquial term. As long as the concept is acknowledged between participants, and they're in agreement on that aspect of it, that concept, then why continue on about any sort of any more pedantic value. Like, I mean, just like
Good
just
question.
This guy's put an orientation to flat.
I'm not. It's already there.
So what? Who cares?
So that's confusing.
You understand what he means, don't you? Are you still uncertain? Are you sure you don't mean it's vertical?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I mean, when I look at a
Seriously.
mountain and say it's not
I don't
flat,
understand what it means.
right?
Get
I
the
also
concept.
mean it's not horizontal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Well,
Okay, so it works, right? When I point at the mountain and say that. But when this guy points at the mountain and says that, he thinks horizontal is an orientation. Doesn't he?
But you can also take a mountain as being oriented horizontally and vertically, like, you know,
Anything.
you can
You
look
could
at its
do that
orientation.
with anything.
But let me ask
That
you a
cup,
question.
Yeah.
that cup there,
You
right?
could,
That I'm pointing
could,
at,
yeah.
right? That's
Have
flat.
you ever
what?
climbed a mountain?
So what?
It means you can say that about anything.
No, you can't.
don't
Have you ever
have a
climbed a mountain?
fucking argument. If you
Have
can
you ever
point to
climbed a mountain?
anything and say that's flat, then
Have you ever
what
climbed a
the
mountain?
fuck are you expecting that you're going to argue with people?
Have you ever climbed a mountain?
Yes.
Okay, when you climb a mountain, is it difficult?
Yeah, I hope this is going somewhere.
It is. Oh yeah. Do you think it's difficult to climb a mountain, especially like a big mountain like Mount
Yeah,
Everest? Do you think it's a difficulty?
absolutely.
Why is it difficult?
Why? I don't know, because I haven't the energy. Because
Do
I'm
people die climbing it?
53.
The
I've
energy.
never been
Well, why
trained.
do you need energy to climb a mountain?
I don't have hiking boots.
Energy
Like
against
how many
what?
how many reasons do you need me to give you that
No.
climbing a
Why does it
mountain's
cost
hard
energy?
work?
Why does it cost energy to climb a mountain? Really, it costs energy for a reason if you believe in science. I mean, surely.
Going here now? What the come on, man.
It's weird. Considering he was just talking about a pleonasm, about flat. Now we're
Why
talking
does
about
climbing a mountain-
science.
Why does climbing a mountain cost energy? It does. It does, and it does for a reason.
Enlighten us. I can't hear anybody else answering. Go on. Give us our lesson for today.
You don't know what gravity is? I mean, I don't need to explain it to you mathematically or scientifically for you to know what gravity
Vertical.
is.
A change in elevation. Yep. Definitely. Vertical change. That's...
And yet, when I change my vertical orientation, I come to a new horizon.
You
I
can't
come
change
to
your
a new
vertical
flat
orientation,
orientation.
can you? You can't change your vertical orientation.
I can climb a mountain. Fuck you. What do you mean?
You're just changing your elevation, not orientation.
Okay. These are meaningless synonyms.
I doubt
There's no
it.
point.
Vertical is an orientation. You can't
I'm not
change
even sure
it.
what you're arguing, bro.
That's how we experience the world in relation to horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
That's how we view it. That's how we use it. That's what, you know, like, so we navigate it
Logically, on a deep level. That's
in
how
respect
we-
to all that. That's how we measure it in respect to that. We measure physical
Biologically.
matter in respect to horizontal and vertical.
But biologically, that's why we have feet.
Yeah, this guy's a flat earther, you know.
What's going on?
Is he?
Yeah.
Who?
Nomad.
I thought he's no way.
Yeah.
I'm saying it doesn't matter if the Earth is flat.
I was just going to say that it's funny that the 2D was kind of white knighting for a glober. It sounded like a minute ago. And because the Globebusters do that. The Globebusters also do that when we talk about the flat Earth. They come out and say, "Well, you know, it's we know it's hills and valleys and all that." They do the same thing, and they back up the flat Earthers. It's really weird. But I never knew he was a flat Earther. Thought he. Wow.
I was thinking
Not
that
really a
he
flat
was
earther,
at one stage, and then he threw me off with the whole four-dimensional Mobius strip universe, and I was like, "Huh? Okay. Is that a speculation?"
Well, that's why it's kind of important to have
that's what the
kind of
universe is.
definitions, isn't it? You know, that the pleonasm something. That's why it's important. So you could you discern what somebody is talking about and from what dimension they're coming from when they're talking about it.
Well,
Otherwise, it
this
gets
is
a bit
like why
confusing.
Well, this is why like the whole flat Earth argument, the whole trying to define the Earth as a different thing is stupid. It's fucking retarded. Unless you're a rocket scientist, what the fuck does it matter what shape the fucking Earth is?
Yeah, it's a non-geometric shape, right? Isn't that better to describe it that way?
You know what geometry means?
Yes. Yes.
What
It's the study of line, shape, and form.
You know geometry can exist
The science
more
of line,
in one dimension, in two dimension,
and
in
line.
3 dimension. You know that there's 3-dimensional geometry.
What are you going? What are you going to do with your geometry in practical, like practically? What are you going to use it for to achieve anything in reality?
Give me that question.
To get an outcome, a result.
Give me that question or him.
To conclude anything.
He's asking you, mate.
I'm asking you. What are you going to do with your geometry that you you use to explain something about reality?
It depends on the context of the geometry.
What are you going to use it for?
If I'm trying to build a house or a skyscraper, obviously I want things to be level, don't I?
But I'm talking about this 4th dimensional geometry, Mobius strip universe geometry.
If you're trying to conceive of the shape of the universe, which I grant you is fucking pointless, but if you're trying to mathematically conceive of it, if you're trying to conceptualize what happens if you just go infinitely in a straight line, what happens if you go infinitely in a straight line is you'll loop back into the same space, but you'll loop back in upside down.
Is that what the satellites are doing?
No,
Is
because
this
the
a
satellites aren't
plane?
going
That
infinitely.
sounds like some Witsit shit, that.
No, that's how. I mean, if you're not sophisticated to look up Google and just look up the shape of the fucking universe, this is what they've determined. As far as the science
Is your
goes.
Mobius strip a plane?
No, it's a 4D Mobius strip. So it's like a
plane?
Mobius strip, but it's in 4 dimensions.
Planar?
Well, I'm surprised you guy knows what a Mobius strip is, to be honest.
Is this a new flat Earth we've got to, educate ourselves on? Because this is.
Listen,
this
I
is
believe in
another
the
thing.
Mobius Earth. Okay.
Do planes exist in four dimensions?
Well, no. Well, yes and no. They can exist as 2-dimensional objects, but
Yes and no.
like an object, a fourth dimensional object exists on a dimension that's pretty much more complicated than anyone can even imagine, unless you're imagining it mathematically.
Says the flat earther.
Unless you're
actually
imagining
I'm just
it
arguing-
mathematically. Sounds like
playing devil's
imaginometry to
advocate.
me. That does sound like imaginometry.
Yeah.
I'm honestly just playing devil's advocate because you guys
I'm the
need
best
someone
at
to argue
that.
Yeah.
I'm a specialist in imaginometry.
with. Are you?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
The most non-Euclidean geometry imaginable.
Okay, what's the 4D cube called?
Dornagon. It's the
called
only
Isn't it
conceptual shape.
Tesseract, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Donaghy.
Literally
whatever he said.
Dornagon.
He doesn't know what a 4D shape is, and he's
It's a
saying he knows
Dornagon.
what non-Euclidean is. Okay.
Donagon.
Well, I mean, we do have the
Where did you learn that?
Penroseogram.
A nomad. Are you really a flat earther?
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I really don't think it
Devil's
matters.
advocate.
Yeah, I think culturally it would be probably more valuable if we all believed in a flat Earth.
Is that because we were talking about religion? And yeah, that's right. So what you've just heard is this guy saying, talking to the actual flat Earth mods on that particular server, and say that he's not really a flat earther, even though he was making all sorts of really awful arguments, right? But they allowed him to be in there. They allowed him to do all of that. And according to him, he was just playing devil's advocate for the flat earthers. So what was he doing? What was that we just went through? How long have we gone through the thing? An hour and 11 minutes from a guy that just jumped into a conversation to play devil's advocate. I don't know. That's what you've got to watch out for. When you're in these rooms and you're talking to people, you haven't got a clue who you're talking to and what you're talking to. You're talking to just somebody who could want to argue about nonsense, anything. Perhaps they're like eggshells, right? His only thing is he wants you to change your mind. He just wants to argue with people. They know nothing about the subject. They'll argue with anybody over anything. That's modern day chat rooms. That's what you've got to be ready for. So that's an hour and 10 minutes just wasted. You'll notice that the Flat Earth mods were actually in the room there, and you'll hear in a bit they're playing together, sort of like the same team. So this guy is he's in training to be in these Flat Earth rooms, and they can play both sides, right? They'll play devil's advocate, they'll swap and change, and they're friendly with these Flat Earthers, as you'll see. How we started it.
Well, I think
You decided to take the flat Earth position because we were saying that somebody was going round saying that religion was being indoctrinated into people. Is that when you took up the flat Earth position?
I think a spiritual.
I think it was. Well, I think that's what I remember.
I do think spiritual and religious factors are good. So, I mean, I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah. You were sort of advocating for people being indoctrinated into scientific religion, into...
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I was advocating.
That's how you
against
started
it.
this morning, right?
I
You
was
were
advocating
taking the Nathan Oakley position, saying that science was a religion.
I think it's a false religion. I think other religions are good, but I don't think science as a religion is good.
Okay, but that's when you were presenting yourself as a flat earther, right?
But yeah, because
you can remember that. Yeah, just so everybody else in this room is aware of that.
Okay. So now that we've got that established, do you think you live on a globe?
No, not day to day.
No. Did you say no?
You did say no, yes.
I don't. I walk outside and
Okay, so
a plane. What do you mean?
What
You
is
walk
your
outside and
view?
think you live on a globe?
See, he has a
No,
flat
no, it's
plane.
not
He has the
self-evident,
plane, has him.
Self-evident.
mean-
But okay, you're not a flat earther though, right?
I mean, I don't care what shape the Earth is, but to me in my everyday, it's a fucking flat plane.
Yeah.
How
You
far
experience
away
that.
have you?
You experience it like a manner in that nature. Like it just
Well,
seems to.
I've experienced it from a plane too. I've experienced seeing it, the giant flat surface with clouds on it from a plane's eye view. What do you mean? Even if it were a
Seems
globe.
to extend out horizontally as far as the eye can see till you can't see any more of it. Is that what you're saying?
That's what was said earlier, that that horizon is true for the globers and the flat earthers. It's the same thing. Both
Well, it doesn't
perceive
matter
that
unless you
same
watch it
thing,
film.
that same horizon.
It's just an observation, right?
Just an observation, and then they put some kind of description to that, a further description.
I'm making a moral claim on it.
It's like
That's both the
they
same
use
thing.
logic and come to a conclusion, but there's no in-between bit. It's just look at that, come to a conclusion. Nobody knows
Look at
how
that.
they come to that
Conclusion is
conclusion.
the conclusion is that I'm looking at that and it looks like something. Like I'm just
Looks
describing
like it's
what
flat.
it seems to be like.
Yeah.
Right. Seems to have a nature about it. Seems to have characteristics. Right. Seems to. Right. I'm looking at it. And go, okay. Well, it looks like, and describe it. Right.
Yeah. The horizon,
What I feel
the
like I'm
true
seeing with my
horizon
eyes.
is described
That's
as
the
being
conclusion.
horizontal. It's a horizontal plane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
Yeah. That happens
it.
on the globe too.
Yeah.
Is it?
Same.
Globe.
Yeah.
oh, what globe?
Yeah,
It's on
same
what
thing
globe?
everybody sees.
What
Everybody sees it.
Yeah.
What
Exactly.
globe does it happen on?
The globe
What
shape.
globe does it happen on?
The globe
Whatever's in your
shape.
head.
I don't see a globe.
What?
I see a flat fucking plane.
What? Been to this? Have you been on it?
Yeah.
Been to space?
Been on the globe?
It's reality, yeah.
Wait, what? Oh fuck! I'm done. Done. Yeah.
Isn't it fun? Isn't this fun?
Yeah. See, this other guy here is talking about a flat plane, and you're not bothered about that.
Yeah.
But when I
He's
say
allowed.
it's a globe, you have a problem. You're out. You've stopped talking. You're shut down.
I had to go pee actually, but I mean, okay.
Sort of like,
So
doesn't
we're
it
standing
sound
on
like
the
a
globe, are we?
maniacal laugh? Isn't that the sort of thing that you
standing on
want
the
to
globe?
hear when you're having a discussion?
Yeah.
We standing on this
Oakley's
globe.
got one of
Like,
those.
do we do? You know, in reality, are we walking around on this globe?
Yeah.
I did
Yes.
the globe for
Really?
you as a child.
Yeah. It's just
You're playing
reality.
devil's advocate now, are you? Playing devil's advocate now.
Everybody's devil's advocate tonight.
Fucking hell, is this a devil's advocate days?
It's reality. So
Reality's a globe.
Yes.
everybody's got one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same horizontal that everybody sees. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I'm not being facetious here. I'm not trying to troll you guys. I think this is actually what I believe in. I am an anti-modern through and through. I think the modern idea of globalism has laid out by managerialism.
We're not making an ism out of this. It's just a shape.
Everything is an ism. Everything is moral. Every statement that you make is a moral statement by necessity. The living human being.
Yeah.
He also said this all came from Christian monks.
Yeah, he did. Science
Yeah,
came from
yeah.
Christian
So
monks.
I don't know. Is that as postmodern as or unmodern as you get? What did you say you were?
An anti-modern, and no, the
Anti-modern. So is that
I'm
as
a
far as you go
Nietzschean.
back and you're anti-modern a bit to the
No,
Christian
I'm a Nietzschean
monks?
anti-modern. I'll have you know. I think Christianity is the fucking stupid bullshit. I hate Christianity.
You just stood on it though. You stood on it as authority. The Christian
And
monks.
I can stand on a grave too and be taller. So God's dead.
That much taller.
Taller though. Taller than you probably. Depending on the grave.
I think you're digging your
I
own one here,
presume
mate.
God has a pretty big grave, doesn't he?
Standing on Andre the Giant's grave.
Based. Love Andre the Giant.
I think this is what we call the ECV part, where the mind just starts wandering frantically,
here with you.
like scrambling around in aporia, wondering how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
I'm right here with you.
You should go skating on the thin ice of modern life. Dragging behind you the silent reproach of a million tear-stained eyes. Don't be surprised when a crack in the ice appears under your feet.
Yeah, thanks, Elder Bear. Thank you.
Okay. Roots is a bit I think Roots is a moral character. I think he tries to be moral within his own morality. I think he does try to be honest.
We did come here asking about the religion side of it. What's being talked about at the minute? Like, people are handing out religions that people don't know about. I mean, does that not sound a bit dangerous?
It gives a shit.
Politics and religion,
Roots, have you been-
isn't it?
Are you there? Are you talking?
What's up? No, I'm not, mate.
Okay, sorry, because I just thought that glitched, and because your mic was open, and sometimes it glitches, and I can't hear the person talking, and they don't light up. So, yeah, that's good.
No, I was just asking. I was just telling Elder Bear thank you for the singing.
Yeah.
Was that Pink
Roger.
Floyd? Was it?
Dear old Roger.
Roger who?
Waters.
Roger Waters.
It's a different
Waters.
age, right? Modern life. It's a bit
Yeah,
different,
he just
you know.
did he just addressed the United
70s
Nations not long ago.
70s British rock, was it?
Yeah,
70s
British
British
rock star addressing the United Nations Security
Was
Council.
he in
They
a
were-
band or was that his stage name?
They were going on about
That is
education, weren't they?
Yeah,
That's-
they were.
They
No,
public school people. Pretty much like
It was Pink Floyd.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Roger Waters was Pink Floyd. Was part of Pink Floyd.
You have to be crazy. You gotta have a.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're just lyrics, right?
Some of the music. Like, yeah, and the lyrics and that. But yeah, I never really like followed them. Knew them that they're the band.
Yeah, well, they weren't around when the Christian monks were about. Probably somebody like Mahler.
Yeah, they are post the
Yeah.
commercialization.
No, I grew up listening to like my parents. Like adults around me were listening to all that as I was growing up.
They're post.
Yeah, loved some of the songs, some of the music that was like I heard as a child, like really hit me, inside and stuck with me. And then down the track years later, I'd hear it again, and it like just has this effect on your psyche. Like remember that first moment you heard that tune, and it was like remembering how it made you feel, and I love music like that.
It's like philosophy.
There was a lot of that sort of music in the 70s and 80s. Really hit home to you, like somehow, just the sound alone, just the opening melody, or something, little riff, and it's like, whoa.
Are you familiar with hauntology?
You put the philosophy in the music.
Hauntology.
It's all in what you interpret.
Is that what I'm describing?
Hauntology is a cultural phenomenon that only exists within a technologized society that can actually create medium with which to store music as an information format. So previously in society, the only format we had to store music was via fucking notes and note sheets. So the only way we stored music was through these documents, and the only way people could actually read it was if they knew how to read it. This change in the nature of
Like
how
a
we
language.
store music.
Are we,
yeah, exactly. It was a language.
Are we
This
done
has
with
created
the
a
other
period of haunting.
chat? Because I don't see how something that was only brought around since the being able to store music, I guess, most of our lifetimes, right?
Yeah, but it's a frighteningly short amount of time historically. A terrifyingly short amount of time. You have no idea what it's doing to the human
What
psyche.
does
or
this
the
have
collective
as
human
relevance to the topic that we were talking about?
the flat Earth, globalism.
No,
Has
about
everything to do
the
with-
religion, yeah. How people are religifying science.
They're religifying science because religion has been killed by the technological marvels, the material wealth that has been created
Nietzsche,
through science.
God is dead, type shit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. God is in fact dead. He was once alive and is now dead. It's true.
So where is God now then?
Dead, murdered in the ground, rotting as a corpse.
To you?
Oh, to everybody.
Wow.
We'll never be able to wipe the
That's
blood
what
off
that-
of us.
Well, it sounds like you're becoming God if you're speaking for everyone.
That's what Nietzsche prescribed for us, but we are woefully
prescribe
incapable
it.
of doing that. Oh yes, he did. He asked the question right after saying God is dead. He asked, "Do we not need to become gods ourselves to become worthy of the task of killing
Uberman.
God?" He asked the question.
Rise
He
of
did.
the Uberman.
That isn't even what we're fucking talking about at this point. You don't. You have some fantastical political idea of Nietzsche that you're arguing from, obviously.
Not arguing from it.
Did you say the Uberman? What's that? What's this?
Uberman.
Is that like the
That's
Uber
what-
driver?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Superman. NHA and Superman.
I was just checking your man here.
I know this expression. Uberman.
So it's like,
It has nothing to do.
it was Nietzsche concept, is if you're going to kill God, then you best be ready to become that God.
Yet we haven't.
Well,
Yet we have failed.
nobody's heard the message, have they?
I've heard the message. Many others have. Yet we haven't.
Well, there's a lot of people that haven't killed God, right?
No, we've all killed God.
I doubt it. Like
we all
that's
kill
what
God.
that's what you prescribe for yourself, but not for everyone.
No, it's a technological advent. It's an advent of the modern system.
God is something that you cannot kill. Man cannot.
Oh, no,
kill
God
God.
is nature. God is nature.
So which man can't kill then?
Where do you live
So
right now?
Nietzsche's just talking
live?
about a concept in the mind of people.
Where do you live?
Right here.
Where? Where's that? Live in a house?
Here, yes.
What's the house made of?
Oh, fucking hell.
What's the house made of?
Have you learned
air
this from
conditioning?
QE?
Electricity?
Right, okay.
Do you
It's
have
made of
electricity?
bricks.
Do you have internet? I mean, I assume you have
I've got-
internet.
yeah,
if you're talking to me right now.
I'm talking to you right now. Proof of such.
Okay. Oh, so you have internet.
Internet,
You have internet,
yeah.
electricity, and you have water.
Remember how you were
Where's all that come from?
anti-modernism, right? You were anti that earlier, weren't you?
Yes, and I'm saying these things, these comforts that you take as a necessity, as a vital requirement for
As a
your life.
luxury.
No, you treat them as a necessity.
No, I
Without them,
don't.
things become dire.
No, I don't.
Oh, yes,
You
where do
don't.
get your
You can't say that
Okay.
about me. So carry on.
Okay, the water goes out. Where do you get your water from?
It comes out of a tap.
Who does it now? Where does that tap water come from?
The water processing plant.
Oh, the water processing plant. Does that need electricity? Does that need managers? Does that need?
Yes, of course it
fucking
does. Yes.
Especially
Go on,
alloyed
carry on.
metals
Yes,
and-
we know this. People work,
interesting.
doing
Interesting.
jobs.
That's-
Yes.
All very natural, obviously. It all just comes from nature. It all just
Carry on.
Automatic.
Like, where are we going?
My point is that none of that springs out of nature automatically. If any one of those mechanisms in the system that are critical for the system's functioning falls apart, you no longer have water. No more water. Nobody has any water. Nobody in your town has water.
Comes
How
from
serious that is?
comes from the
How
sky.
serious that would be if that system failed on you.
We live in the UK. There's lots of water comes from the sky, mate.
Oh, rainwater. You just drink. You think you can drink? You think you can drink rainwater? Really?
I've got
Oh.
a
You should
distiller.
try that.
I've got a
should
distiller.
try
I
it.
don't drink tap water. I distill my water.
Oh.
Everyone should distill the water.
What's that distiller made out of?
My God.
Plastic and metal.
Oh, plastic and metal. Where was that plastic made? Is that a natural thing? Does that come from the earth?
No, the plastic and the metal. The plastic comes from oils, and the metal comes from ores.
And how many industrial processes does it need to get to the point?
Probably
where it's usable
many.
plastic?
Probably many.
Probably
But
hundreds.
like, yeah. And where's this
An
going?
industrial plant.
Like, what's your point in it? Have you still
What
got a
happens if
point?
all that technology falls apart and your water filter just breaks? What happens? What happens if there's no more plastic?
I don't know. What happens if we stop entertaining people asking fucking ridiculous questions? Can you get to your
What
point?
happens if the machine? What happens if the machine?
Get to your point.
That's the point. What happens? I'm asking you the question. What happens if the machines break down?
I haven't got a clue. We'll have to wait and
What happens to
see.
you as a person? No. No, that's a
Logos
very
will
easy
guide
answer.
me.
Oh, will it? Oh, will it?
Yes.
Oh, will it guide you through the starvation as the grocery stores go empty and the tap water that no longer comes from the tap?
It's done amazingly up until now, so I can't see why it would fail me.
Oh, and when have you lived in a world where tap water doesn't come from the tap?
I've spent about the same amount of time as you have, I would imagine.
Oh, so you've lived your whole life that way. Interesting.
What are you guys on about?
I
For
don't,
real?
I don't know
Like,
what he's
why
trying
are
to
you
go on
arguing
about.
about
Like,
this?
anybody else can answer him, right? It's just that
You've
I'm the only one that's fucking answering him. I don't know who he's
You've lived-
talking to.
It's
I
you,
wouldn't wanna
Biff.
say
You're the
that.
one who's causing all these arguments for no reason.
I'm not causing
You're just a
any
contrarian.
arguments.
You're a contrarian by heart, mate. I can tell.
How am I doing it? What? He's asking fucking ridiculous questions.
Well,
Mate,
let-
he asks you simple questions that you can't answer, and you give the most obscure answers, which creates chaos, mate. That's what's happening.
Which ones? You can answer. You answer for me.
When he
next time.
he said, "Where do you live?" and you said here, and then he says, "What's your house made of?"
Do
and
you
then
want
you
me to
started
dox
going
me
off.
fucking self? What are you talking about?
Mate, all you have to do is say the UK. What's wrong
What
with you?
answer
You
does
can
he want?
say
I
that your
did
house
say
is
I've
made of
already
brick,
fucking
can't ya?
told him I live
But
in the UK.
Instead, you want us to all excruciatingly sit through your 20 minutes of circle jerking. It's a fucking waste of time, mate. You waste everybody's time when you come here, mate.
We were
Well, I
having a
don't agree with
conversation
that.
about science
He won't, kill
and religion.
Hang on. Yeah, he was doing quite well. I mean, I don't know. It was just a kind of general conversation that came out of the religification of this shape, of people being told that they have a religion that they didn't sign up for and they were taught. It was it's just a conversation that's gone that way. Now it's like we're in the area of verboten speaking. Things can't be said, and now now it's like creating nonsense somehow, creating some problem here.
we have to.
But we're
We
all
have to
kind of part of that. We're all part of that. It's the same horizontal the globe sees as the flat earthers see. Same one.
But we've got to make a problem out of it. We have to. We have to make a problem out of it. Because if we don't make a problem out of it, then it all becomes very starkly clear how fucking empty all of this is.
Well, largely you've got to make a problem out of everything. Specifically, it always comes down to that, which is a bit of a pity. And conversations start getting into interesting places. It affects us all, benefit to us all. Whether you agree with it or not, it's good to hear these other things. There are some things that just can't be said. It's a bit like the government. Don't speak, silence, delete, imprison, cancel.
That's
It's like a bit like that.
It's not the horizontal.
Well, that's
that
how
flatters
it
and
appears to
globus
me.
right? Why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying it's the horizontal that flat earthers and globers see is the same horizontal?
Well,
Why are you saying
this guy here, he described the horizontal, the horizon, and you describe it. And when we go out in reality and you look at it, you'll both see the same thing and describe it as the same thing. It's the horizon.
everybody? So just everybody, just anyone in general.
Reality,
And
isn't
just
it?
go out and look
It's
at
a
it and
reality.
describe it like that.
Yes. That's
It's only
what we
when you
did.
start.
All of history. That's what we
That's
did.
not flat earthers and globers go out and see that. It's just anybody.
Just normal people. Just normal people.
Who weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They see it as a
Normal people.
horizon.
Body
This
with
arena
eyes,
trains you to have to think in different terms.
reasonably capable.
But you haven't measured it, 2D. You haven't measured it. You're talking about something that you've never measured. There's no proof in any of this.
There isn't.
Just based on observation, the same observation this other guy's making. I see this.
Well, I mean,
he just said he went outside his door and he's on a flat plane.
So it is or it isn't horizontal?
That guy said he goes out of his door and he's on a flat plane.
Is it or isn't it horizontal?
My question isn't is it or isn't it. My question is what is it functionally to me as a human being on this planet? What is it?
Just getting
It's a
to
plane.
a point where we can just say what it is or isn't. Do we have to say
what it is or isn't
looks
depends on the
like
context.
or doesn't look like?
But what
Right.
anything is or isn't depends on the context.
Well, it'll come down to your proof, I guess.
Is it? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. When I say,
Well, I don't know
is
what
it
you
or
know.
isn't it horizontal?
It's that
I say that's what I was saying last night. What I was saying last night was that I took a video yesterday, and when I was looking at the sea and I looked at the horizon, it was obviously not horizontal. The surface was not horizontal, right? Obviously not. And I had the video, but I can't post it here. But so I was talking honestly about what I observed, and yesterday what I was observing was a horizon. It's obviously not horizontal, and I observe it. I understand the concept of the true horizon and the geometry that flows from that. But when I look out at the horizon, you can either say, it's curving or it's not, or there's a boat going over the horizon or it's not, or it's perspective. But there isn't any proof that makes a stand and says everybody has to agree.
Well, yeah, but
the undeniable evidence, what's self-evident, and the proof is there for everybody.
Listen, if you go into space, go on a fucking space station, it's in a fucking not a geosynchronous, an asynchronous.
That's it.
Then the Earth is round. Sure, you're going around it.
Could you post your video
of what?
Of the non-horizontal horizon?
I can't post in there.
Can you post it? Can you send it to a mod? Maybe they can post it.
Send it to me or
I don't know. I don't know because I
just send a message to like Roots.
I'm a bit wary that I have also experienced people lying a lot. It did to me last night.
Oh my God! What kind of excuse is this? You can't send it.
No, I'll send it. I'll send it
because people lie. What the bloody hell are you on about?
No. I'm just the conclusion may go in a different direction. Hang on, I'll send it to you.
I would like to see what you mean with a non-horizontal horizon.
Okay. All right, I'll send it to Roots. Hang on. And I've got to get on. My daughter's here, and I've got to fix her car before the MOT today. So, find you. You carry on while I'm doing my admin.
You see, the thing that I find confusing about the presence of you guys here is, what are you trying to get out of all of this? Because when it comes down to it, the shape isn't really that important. What is important is that we've been lied
about
to.
The shape, though.
We've been lied to.
We were talking about the religious aspect of it. We weren't talking about that.
No, but I'm on about in general.
We weren't talking about the surface of anything.
No, but this conversation's been going on for you guys. Were here yesterday as well, and this all revolves around how flat is. But that's not important. What is important is that we've been lied to about our cosmology, and we've been lied to about the natural world. And
have we been lied to about the religion that we've been taught?
Yeah, and that's something we all have in common.
We should be talking about.
All realized, we have all realized.
Fuck that. We should believe what we see.
I don't think the globe's a religion, though.
But it is. It requires faith.
It does.
It's a shape.
It does require faith, even if it's true.
It's a religion. It's a religion. Just like scientism is at the moment, it requires faith in order to believe the claims. That's what that's religion. That's a religion.
Okay. So what does it take to overcome a religion?
Nothing. A religion is a necessary mode of cultural.
Well, you need to dig your way out of it. You need
just realize.
Okay. I'm going to point out here in this part that this is where obviously we're going to be challenging directly with, I don't know, the Roots, I think it is. He's one of the flat earthers now. And we've been dealing with a guy that was playing devil's advocate or whatever, but he was also going with this idea. Except now Roots is saying it's not science that's the religion. Now it's globe that's the religion. And like I say, I say it's just a shape. So, no big deal to me. But obviously, Roots has got a different idea of what a globe is. And maybe that's what we should be doing. We should be coming to terms. We should be discussing these sort of things. But he's developed globe into a religion thing. And it's obviously so deep ingrained in what Roots has got that I don't know. It's become something that sort of like I'd say trigger him, but it's not a triggering. It's something that's a bit deeper than that. Because he's already holding this. He's brought this in now. We're talking about a religion and what how people have done that. He's just agreed with the fact that he thinks globe is a religion. I'm just saying I don't think it is. It's not a religion, because I'd have no chance of proving it to Dave Weiss if it was a religion. I couldn't prove a religion. So we obviously think there's two different things. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky from here on in, because I think Roots, like I say, he's holding some sort of a grudge or something. There's something deep in there that's stopping him. So he's got a model. This is where the model affliction comes into it that we've been talking about. It's not just a model of globe or flat or whatever, but this guy's got a model of me that causes him to act like this, and he doesn't have the ability to communicate about why he's got it. He's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I say that mountains aren't flat. Maybe it's because I've got a proof. And I say that mountains aren't flat. I don't know. But, I mean, you'll hear now. Because this is the last conversation we had. We've been since banned because of this, I think. So you heard the conversation that we had. That was just a conversation. A lot of conversation about some guy that was, obviously defending them while they weren't here. And now they're here, the big guys. This is the conversation from here on in.
It's bullshit. That's all.
Yeah, and undo.
We need to have a better religion, because science is not a good religion. It's a terrible religion. It's leading us to ruin.
No, we're not talking about science. We're talking about globe religion now. Okay. It's changed.
Science is the globe religion.
Oh, right. Okay. So now you're putting those two together as well, are you? So what we've got here is a nice little switcheroo. Two people that are playing, like, it seems like they're playing a team tactics. This is the one guy that was playing devil's advocate, pretending to be a flat earther, but then saying he wasn't a flat earther, but then saying when he goes out of his door, he sees a flat plane, right? Obviously playing whatever. But now the other guy's come in there and said that the globe is the religion. That's Roots. He's one of the regular mods there. And now we're back to the other guy, the one that's playing the games. Like, so who's the leader here? I mean, one of them does sound like FE Data the way he laughs at those particular times. So, I mean, might be. Definitely seems to be able to talk. Play both sides as well as anyone. Pretty much similar tactics to FE Data, I think.
Yes.
Right, so synonymous, are they? Globe and science.
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
See, you're thinking about blue marble science. It's not a real thing. There is no science of the blue marble. It doesn't exist.
It is in the minds.
This is where you get confused. The science
Is
that I was talking about comes into it.
The science that you're talking about isn't what anyone else believes.
Yeah, the study and the knowledge and the acquisition of
Hold on, Nomad.
globe.
Hold on, Nomad. It is correct that there isn't any physics that backs up the globe in terms of what you have as a cosmology and what you believe in reality is not matching.
Doesn't matter.
With the measurements. You do realise that, and what he's saying is correct.
It literally doesn't
Well,
matter.
it does. It does if you're saying that there is science.
Not as far as most people are concerned.
No, but it doesn't matter what people think. It matters if what you just said is true. Is there science that backs up your claim of a heliocentric ball? No, there isn't science, and you'll find out. You'll find out the hard way, but you can just take my word for it for now. Sorry?
I'm anti-science as a locus. I don't like science.
Yeah, see,
I don't like
he's.
science as a guiding force.
I never
for
I
asked
think
our
he's
you
reality
listened
on
to
it.
Nathan Oakley, thinking he's put science as a religion now.
Shut up.
When relating
Shut
to
up.
the globe. This is a danger.
Stop it, man.
Bev, don't do
Stop
the
it,
meta
man.
commentary, please.
Don't speak for us, man.
Speak for who? Are you
What you
Nathan
want to
Oakley?
call flat earthers, right? Yeah. Just a person, man. I'm just a person.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're here discussing the religious aspect of what we're talking about.
He's not making anyone look bad but himself.
Do you know, great minds like to talk about ideas and small minds like to talk about people, and you bring up QE,
The
Witsit,
ideas that
Nathan,
these
so
people
much,
bring
Bev.
about.
I worry about you.
No, I'm talking about the people that bring about the bad ideas. It causes confusion.
Forget the people, just talk about the ideas.
Two people having the same idea doesn't necessarily mean that they one gained that idea from the other. They could have both had that same thought independently.
Okay, well, he's linked globe and science together in a way that I don't think is a constructive one, because he's adding a religion to that as well. That's not going to be helpful in anybody's understanding of either globe being a shape or science.
What are you trying to accomplish?
What am I trying to argue?
Good question.
Just a conversation within normal people. I'm trying to get more people involved.
Why are you
in
here?
these sort of aspects of stuff? Because I believe there's a way that we can all learn through
We're all mad
logic.
here.
Eve, so you've got a religion too, right? You've got a religion.
Logos, yeah.
Believe.
Logos guides me.
Yeah, he believes he's not he doesn't have a model. So his religion is his belief that he doesn't adhere to a model, but he's actually creating a model by doing that. Well done, Bev.
What model am I creating?
That's like the art of, like Bruce Lee's art of no art, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. You believe you could go back and place a model within the framework of pre-logic. You believe that's possible, do you?
See, flat earthers are not claiming a model, Bev. You strawman us and pretend we have a model. We don't have a model. We just know, which you refuse to admit, that there is a known world. And we know that there is a certain amount of water in this realm.
Right. He just had a go at me for talking about, saying that Nathan Oakley's going round saying about the religion thing. And now he's speaking for the entirety of Flat Earth. Saying we. This guy, Roots. He's the one now speaking for Flat Earth. So I'm going to take what he says as the voice of Flat Earth at the moment, because it's who he's speaking for.
And a certain amount of land. And from there, you may be able to imagine what, there's all different depictions of what the flat earth would look like. But let's face it, we don't have a model. We're all individuals, and we're not a cult, Bev.
What I'm talking about when I do this is, say, the model that you're given pre-logic in the cognitive development of everyone. Right? There's a part of growing up where logic isn't involved.
If, let me ask you something. What
That
part
the
of the
model
brain
placed
does
there.
What part of the brain does logic come from?
What part of the brain does logic come from?
Yeah, it's a question. If you don't know, just say I don't know.
Doesn't come from your brain. Reasoning. It's what makes the humans different.
Saying human brains can't be different?
Reasoning is
things
that makes man different from the animals.
I don't know, like I said, I don't know, man. I've seen animals do some pretty Some pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
Some pretty
It's
smart
true.
shit.
Animals can do things. This is the point that I'm getting to is like logic comes from your prefrontal cortex. It comes from a very specialized part of the brain that only human beings have, right? It's a very specialized tool that we have. But most of the other parts of our brain are the same as an animal's. Right? We are animals through and through just as much as we are higher beings capable of divine reasoning, right? We are both at the same time. We are creatures on this earth that have bodies and needs and wants and desires, and our perspective and every thought that we have and the world that we live in is framed around our existence as animals in this reality. To disregard that, to throw that away as inadequate, is to throw your own body away. You can't do it. So any attempt at doing that, any attempt at throwing away these animalistic urges that actually control a majority of the population, especially when you're talking about how civilization should be ruled, when you're talking about how people should think of things, is silly. It's impossible. You can't. We are literally animals through and through in our foundational structure, in our biological structure, in our makeup, in our existence, day-to-day beings. Right? So when we walk out into the fucking world, yes, the Earth is flat, just like it is for all the other animals on the fucking planet. Yes. That's how it works. And it shouldn't work any other way just because somebody with a lot of power says it. It shouldn't work the other way because some fucking rocket scientist putting God knows what
Yeah,
in
he
the
did
fucking
just do
atmosphere says
that.
it the other way. Fuck it. Who cares? I'm not a fucking rocket scientist. I don't put rockets into the atmosphere. I don't care.
Reasoning.
Yeah, and nobody else should care either. What we should be caring
Waffled
about
his
is
way.
the world around us and not this fictitious hyper-reality that's been created by fucking globalism. And it has created the globe Earth. Nobody
Just
gave a shit
waffle
that
at
the
the
Earth was
minute. He'll fit in
technically
well
a fucking
over it
globe
24/7,
until
this guy.
it became apparent that the world could be linked together and colonized by this nightmarish machine that we've been eaten by.
More of
Okay?
this
No,
coming in
fuck you. I say I want the Earth
2025
to be
to
flat. I
Flat
walk
Earth
outside, it is flat.
rooms
Fuck you. That's what I want.
near you. Controlled by 24/7. Of course.
So you want it to be flat or it is flat?
Both.
Sounds like your belief system also.
No, because when I walk outside, guess what? It's flat. Can't change that.
He's taking the rebellion to the next level, man.
It's this sort of stuff that
Why?
lend Flat
I'm
Earth.
going to say it's flat just because you say it's a globe. Fuck you.
Just nonsense.
Yeah,
Precisely.
T-Dub, it's like the response is like, I'm not religious. I'm a motherfucking zealot. Rah!
Exactly.
Yeah. Cuss. No.
I mean, but this is the colonization of the human mind by this giant technological egregore that is fucking silly. Everybody believes in because it provides for them. But when it stops providing for them, when it stops working, and it's about to for a lot of fucking people because it's not by any means perfect or an ordained plan or God's plan or anything like that. It's not from nature. It's this very imperfect human creation, this global system that's supposed to be a life support network for everybody. It's like once that falls through, everybody's going to be wondering what the fuck they need to believe in because their minds have this giant fucking vacuum. Okay, well, suddenly the water doesn't come from the tap. Suddenly there's no more food in the fucking grocery store. Suddenly my heater stopped working because there's no more electricity. Suddenly I don't have night at nighttime.
Preach it,
What
brother.
do I do? Well, but this is a serious quandary as modern people that we have to fucking deal with, and the only people who have any fucking answers are the people who say, "Well, no, fuck you. I believe whatever I want to believe."
Yeah, and you'll just tell them it's flat anyway, and then carry on rambling on about
And guess what?
water and
I don't-
technological advances and all of that sort of shit, won't you?
I don't have to. Guess what?
Becoming like
If
a modern day
nobody-
preacher. You are
Guess
doing
what?
all right. I like the way
Guess
you're
what,
doing
buddy?
it.
Thank you.
I think it might
Guess what,
take
though?
off.
Guess what? If everybody stops telling people that the Earth is round, everyone would go back to believing it's flat. Because
Say tis
that's how it
globe.
looks.
Be done with it.
You don't have to. But the thing is, that's an artificial thing. That's
Don't say
stapled
it's
on.
round. Tis
Hold
globe
on, sorry
is
to
much better.
interrupt.
Stapled
I
on.
keep hearing this tis globe. What do you mean when you say tis globe? Are you
tis globe,
taking the
I mean,
piss
it's a
out of it?
statement.
Are you
It's a
taking the
statement.
piss out? Yeah, I know, but what's the point behind it? Are you taking the piss out the globers because they just assume?
Assume what?
That it's a globe.
It's been given to everybody.
Why do you say "tis globe" all the
It's
time?
because
You
that's
say
what's
it
been
all
given.
the time.
Yeah.
Why do you keep saying it?
Who's going to
Yeah,
argue? Are you
so
going
you're
to?
taking
You're not going
taking
to
the piss.
argue against it, are you?
Bev, why can't you just answer simple questions,
I
mate?
mean, I am. I'm
So
answering it. Are
frustrating.
you arguing against it?
You talk.
Are you
You pride
saying?
yourself.
Are you
talk
saying
about
it
conversation.
isn't a globe?
I'm not. I'm asking you a simple question. Why do
Okay.
you keep saying "tis globe"?
Because it is a globe.
So you're a glober now.
It's
So
always
you're
been a
model
globe.
afflicted. So you're model afflicted
It's not
now.
flat.
So are you model afflicted?
It's not flat.
Are you model afflicted?
No.
So it isn't a globe, or
But I
it is
guess
a globe?
there's some models that you have to be afflicted by, right?
What, like the
I'm
globe?
afflicted by a model of logic for reasoning, right? In the fact that I can't deal with contradictions, so I have to resolve them one way or the other. Usually
All right,
with
so
epoche.
everybody heard in this room that you have now moved to the globe side. You
Always
believe
been a
it's a
globe,
globe.
dude.
You said
It
you
was
were not
fucking
model
flat last
afflicted.
week.
Yeah, you changed your position. You said you wasn't model
I've got a
afflicted.
proof for Dave Weiss.
So now you have a model. Now you have a model, and you've gone
I'm going
back
to
on
prove
everything
to
you've been
Dave
saying for the
Weiss
last
tis
however
globe,
long.
yes.
Who's Dave Weiss? Who the fuck? Why the fuck does
Who's
that
Dave
matter?
Weiss? I'm going to get
fuck is
that
that?
money, that Bitcoin.
No mad. No mad. No mad. No mad.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You haven't been in the community very long. It doesn't matter.
Right, listen to that. Do you want me to play it? I will play that back again, right? Listen to that. This is the guy that's been, well, you know, you've heard him talking over the past, hour, nearly 2 hours, hour 51 of this conversation. Dave Weiss. Listen, I'm going to get that money, that Bitcoin.
No mad. No mad. No mad. No mad.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You haven't been in the community very long. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
So-
he was doing well, though, wasn't he? Come on.
But
With his
Bev, you've changed
water
your
and sort of
position.
thing he talk.
You've changed your position. You're
Okay,
now a
you've done
glober,
well,
and you
mate.
believe in the.
So Roots is saying I've changed my position. Have I? Have I changed my position? Has he never heard of Tis Globe? Like how shielded has he been? He's never heard of Tis Globe. Serious. Okay, well here we go.
Heliocentric model now, right?
No,
So it's not a globe then.
Tis Globe. It's just a shape. It's just a shape.
I don't know why I bother.
Yep.
I think maybe he means he doesn't care about like the heliocentric model, but just literally that the shape is a sphere, I guess.
It's not a sphere.
Oh, so you've got your own sphere.
A globe, whatever.
You've
It's
got
a
your own globe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what
So
is a
you've got
globe?
your own.
It's a non-geometric shape. Easily
If he doesn't
provable.
call it a
Of
globe,
course.
it's
Like
not a
Bev.
globe. Okay.
Fuck's sake.
It's a globe, but it's not a sphere.
Uh-huh.
Are
Absolutely.
you on drugs or?
What do you mean?
No, he thinks he's. Don't even do it. Don't
You
even
guys-
ask
if you
him.
guys
He
never
thinks he's
talked
got
to
a
the-
gotcha. He
if you
thinks he's
guys-
got a gotcha.
You guys haven't
Get it?
talked to the proper globe
He's
gangsters,
too
have
intelligent
you?
for us, guy. Too intelligent and separated so much from all the stigma and dogma.
Yeah,
No, that's
talking
not
about
too
the real
intelligent.
globe.
It's impossible. He wins.
That's
He wins
broken in the head.
everything all the time. He's right about everything.
He sounds autistic as fuck to me.
The real globe.
Bev, are you
Matrix
autistic?
can be speaking over
Possibly.
there.
Yeah, but I could be.
I think you are, mate.
It is a spectrum, isn't it?
The first thing on Google is a globe is a
Isn't
spherical model of the
autism
Earth.
on a spectrum?
Is the globe on the
Is-
spectrum?
is-
Probably, if you believe
Is
in it.
autism a spectrum? Whoever that was who was talking to. Roots. Come on, Roots. Is autism a spectrum?
It's got nothing to do with flat Earth.
So it's quite possible that, yeah, I've got some autism, right? Probably somewhere on the spectrum, right?
If you
as-
want to have it,
as
you can
we
have it. You're
all
more than
are.
welcome to.
Right?
Got the fucking rhythm, bro.
You've not got anything against people on the autistic spectrum, Have you? Roots?
No, but once I'm
Okay,
aware
good.
and I pick up on it, then I change how I interact with that person.
Wow.
We
Is
throw
that
them
not
into
like
the
a little
fucking
bit
pillory.
bigoted to change?
I take into account
Okay.
the autistic nature and characteristics when
Do you
conversating
want
with
a
them.
globe definition from National
Maybe he
Geographic?
bans people who are autistic.
I've got my
Maybe
own.
that's
Don't
what
worry
once
about
he
it.
decides something.
Yeah, we
have
just
your
make
own?
up our own definitions, was it's all good.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should have your own definition, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Just
clear in your own
First
mind then of
professional
what
level of these idiots.
you're actually defining
But
the identity of the thing as.
This globe that you believe in, is it like a spherical shape or what
I
is
don't
it?
believe in it. I've got a proof. It's just
Okay,
a
whatever. The thing that you consider
non-geometric shape.
true, belief is just an affirmation of what you think, right? So, how does it look like? If
It's
it's not a sphere?
non-geometric.
Non-geometric.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like reality, right? Because you can only see bits of it at a time. So you have to compile this image of globe in your mind.
Do you have any kind of reference?
However
to
you
this?
put all of those things together, that's your globe.
Do you have any kind of reference to what you're talking about?
Well, you can do it yourself. Just go outside, right?
It's an uber relativist.
Was that a no or?
Yeah, you
It's an
do this
uber
yourself. This is what I'm telling you. You construct
You're saying you
your
think
model
the Earth is a
of
globe,
globe.
which is not a sphere. So I'm asking, do you have any kind of reference? We're on the internet, right? We're not
non-geometric.
standing next to each other. So I'm asking you, do you have any reference?
Any reference for what? For you observing your reality.
No, for what you're
Stop being
talking
a
about.
fucking pain in the ass, Bev. What shape would you refer to as?
Non-geometric.
So it's not a
His
shape.
mind.
Non-geometric
Guy's so
shape,
weird,
yeah.
man. What the
The
hell?
globe is
His
a
mind.
non-geometric shape. As in, it cannot be described geometrically.
His mind is an enigma.
What the hell is wrong with this? I don't understand.
Is your globe
it can't
any
be
different?
described geometrically.
Is your
Describe
globe
it
any
some other
different?
way, then.
Is your globe any different?
I don't have a globe.
Wait, so when you say
I'm not
globe,
broken in the head like you.
you're just referring to reality when you say the word globe? Or
Yeah.
No, he's being
Yes.
overly pedantic
No.
about his geometry. Yeah, you are. You're
No.
trying to say
I'm
that.
saying a globe
trying
is
to say-
something that's
alright,
given to
I'm-
you before the logic,
Yeah, you
right?
don't want me to
Before
give
you
your game
can
away
process
here.
logic. That's
You're
it.
playing a game.
No, it's just
Spherical
reality.
he's basically got a beef with spherical geometry because it
No.
violates
No, I don't.
rules of Euclidean geometry.
No,
That's what it is.
Right, obviously Roots has got some sort of a model of me that's not quite correct. And this is what he does, and this is what'll happen within these things. It's a good jump I've got a chance to pause it, because things from this moment, right, because he's just started making up shit about me to tell his friends, now's the time that they're going to have to mute me sooner or later or whatever. But luckily I think I'm going to go out. I need to go shopping or something with the missus, so there's not much longer before I have to go. But it gets progressively worse from this point, because obviously people like Roots have just made up a nonsense about me, and now I do not.
Downhill, rather.
I don't know what Roots is talking about. Roots has made up some sort of a model of me in his own
I've
mind.
been listening to you all morning, talking about non-Euclidean
No,
geometry.
we're talking about
and how
science and right. He just said he's been listening to us all morning talking about non-Euclidean geometry. I don't think it was mentioned once. We were talking about religion and fucking. So again, flat earthers are making up stories, and they're making up things in their own mind. Right? Nobody heard anybody talking about non-Euclidean geometry up until him mentioning it just then. Listen to it again. Remember, this leads up to us eventually getting banned from this channel. So we can't ever have these sort of conversations with these people. a model of me in his own
I've been
mind.
listening to you all morning, talking about non-Euclidean geometry.
No, we're talking
and
about
how
science and religion.
What you
how a
want us
globe
to
is.
think.
Oh my god!
Can we? So when you say globe, you're talking about anything in reality, or
So
what?
yeah, it's just reality, right?
So a tree is globe,
No,
but a tree is reality, no?
The globe is the model of reality you construct in your mind when you piece all of these things together. You construct it. It's yours. It's nobody
No,
else's.
So you don't think reality is like a objective thing?
You do it. I'm saying it is reality. It's how you piece together the
That was a
pieces
question.
of reality.
You just evaded the question. I said, do you think reality is objective, mind independent?
Yeah, you can. It's tactile, isn't it? Reality. You can touch it. You can experience it. That's where you experience things in reality.
Yes, it is. It is independent of you.
Yeah, so it's mind independent. Do you think that?
Well, reality exists outside of your mind. Yes.
Good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Glad we've established this.
They don't know if I
But
the
you
entire
keep saying
model.
your reality.
You,
Why you say that?
you construct this model of globe yourself. You may be given hints and clues of people, maybe teachers in this pre-logic state that you're in as a child. Maybe they put something in front of you and said, this is a globe, right? And maybe you've used that and it's helped you and it's still in your mind because it happened before you could reason.
No, I feel
Maybe
you.
that's what
No,
happens,
I
right? So,
agree
but
with you there.
you construct your globe. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying because it's non-geometric, you can't describe it geometrically. As is anybody would be in exactly the same position when faced with it. So that's more inclusive. That's why I say 'tis globe. Because everyone is going to be involved in this.
No, you say it is globe because you're broken in the head and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, trying to confuse people, Bev.
There's loads of people that live in reality, right? You can have
You've been
converse with them,
indoctrinated,
surely.
and now you're trying to make excuses to justify it.
No,
just deal
I'm
with
just
it. We all were taught the same bullshit.
talking to normal people. I don't know what you were taught. I wasn't taught anything about globe.
So you never went to school. You were a tard.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, I kind of understand what he's saying because, like, let's say that you were born literally like in the jungle in the middle of nowhere and you wouldn't go to school, nothing. All you would have is just what you see around you, and that would just be your reality, right? You wouldn't have an idea of globe or anything like that. Maybe that's what he means, like the blank slate, right?
But nobody was born in the jungle, though.
Yes, that's not. That's
But what
a,
if
that's a
what
false
if that
statement.
earlier moment, the moment where logic comes into the mind, right? So you've gone from the grammar stage and you're into this logic stage about 7 years old where you start reasoning for yourself. What happens if you lose the earlier grammar stuff? What about if that's wiped from you? So there you're brought up just with the logic stage. So you're processing everything logically. And what about then, if that happens, right? And then you realise that there's nothing been taught to you about globe. Like,
So
there's no
you'd
lessons.
naturally go, hey, it's a globe because no one's taught me about it.
There's no lessons.
That's the dumbest fucking shit I've heard this
There's
week.
no lessons in globe. There's no
But remember,
experts in
when he
globe.
says globe,
There's no such thing as blue marble science.
when he says globe, he's not referring to a sphere, apparently. So he's referring to something else, which is reality,
The model
which is
of
what
globe.
we established before.
You've been given a model of globe.
So where's your evidence of sphere? Forget globe now. I'm not interested in what you don't believe. Where's your evidence of sphericity then?
Well, there is elevation changes, right? This is you're not going to like this, right? But
You mean
those
topography?
elevation changes show it's not an equal distance, and it cannot be an equal distance. Therefore, geometrically not sphere.
So it's not a sphere either now.
It's always never been a sphere.
So it's not a sphere and it's not a globe.
It is a globe, but the globe is not a sphere, and the globe is not flat.
Yeah, keep your tongue in your mouth here, Roots. Globe, in his mind, is just reality, as we established before.
It's the model you make. You construct it. Everybody
So
has
he's
it.
changed
They
the
have
word
their
reality with
own
globe.
model of globe in their mind. And that model of globe is constructed by the pieces of reality.
But why do you use the word globe? Why don't you just say model of reality?
Because it's globe, isn't it?
But why
Because
that word?
within
though?
this
Why do you use that word?
within this arena, that's what it's all about. Dave Weiss requires a proof of globe for Bitcoin.
But you're saying all people, so why do you use the word globe?
Because
Hold on,
I'm
within this
talking to these
arena,
people in
globe
this
is
arena.
not regarded as reality, though.
I don't understand.
Don't you have a false dichotomy of flat versus globe?
That's just a polarizing
Aren't we
debate.
in the
but,
flat part of it here? Isn't this the flat arena?
I'm just wondering why you say globe, the word globe. What's so special about that word?
Because that's the model that you have in your mind. That you
No.
consider it, you consider it a geometric shape, but it isn't a geometric shape.
I don't necessarily.
So
you don't know me.
What is globe then?
I don't know. I don't know what globe is.
Because it was a model given to you in the childhood state
Yes,
before
we all
you
know
could
that.
logic it.
We know that. You've
So
said
the
that 7
logic
times.
framework that you've lived your life with has put that logic on the model that you were given.
Yes.
It's globe.
I think everyone in this room knows that we're given a model. I'm just wondering why you're using that particular word.
Because that's the model that you were given. Globe. Nobody knows what it is.
But when you're describing
You
it, you're
can't
just
define
describing
it. You can't
reality.
describe it as a geometric shape or anything. But yet you've been arguing with people.
Yes,
Backwards
but
and
the word
forwards.
globe is referring to
Tis
a
flat.
geometric
Tis
shape.
globe.
That's the problem,
Tis
right?
flat. Tis globe.
Apparently, we're getting a lesson in good communication here, guys. Apparently, Bev thinks he's a master of communication, and this is great.
Oh, is that what you
Where
got out
did
of
you
that,
get
Roots?
that
I thought
from?
it was a nervous breakdown.
Where did you get that from, Roots?
Yeah, you were
From
saying
your behavior.
yesterday. You were saying yesterday that you're good at conversation, and us in here we're not good at
hoping.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm hoping
So you're
to increase
demonstrating your level of conversation skills, and I'm really impressed, Bev. You're really holding down a good conversation here. Well done.
Okay. Just
In reality,
just so
you're
you
just-
know, though.
in reality, you're just gaslighting people and trying to confuse people. That's
He says I'm gaslighting now. This is Roots. I decided that I don't know what we're talking about here. That gaslighting, telling people that reality's globe, right? It's the model of reality that they've been given. Is called a globe. Well, people have been given that. You can't take it away from people. Can't do it. They've been given it before logic. It's locked in. You're never going to get rid of it. So, again, how's that gaslighting? What's he talking about? Flat earthers, mad.
not good conversation. It's the Bev show right now. You're literally like egotistical, mate.
Right. Well, don't let me fill the room with that. All right. It's been nice chatting, guys.
When Miss you can go on mute.
We should just did get muted.
You tried.
And that's that. Me out of that server, and never to go back in there because this morning we were banned from those people for that. I think for that conversation. So just be aware that there's what they've got one guy out there making videos telling everybody that they've been indoctrinated into a religion that they didn't know about. And then there's another group of people, which would be, you'd say, be your first port of call. If you wanted to come and find out and talk to people about this guy that's saying that you've been indoctrinated into a religion, right? You'd end up being ushered into one of these rooms with these people. And they can't talk about this stuff. They've banned us from everywhere. I don't know where you would have the conversation. Come to on the level. If you want a proper conversation, I mean, attempt to have a conversation with those guys if you want. See how well you do. I don't know. Maybe it is just me. Maybe, like he says, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's some form of autism. Maybe I am gaslighting people about this sort of thing. Or maybe I'm gaslighting people to think for themselves. I don't know. It seems like that these people don't want it. Whatever it is, they don't want it around them.
Yeah, they can't see it, or they're stuck within their, model, paradigms of their model, and they either can't because they're in the group and they can't step outside of it, or they just don't see it because, I missed most of that at the time it was happening because I was doing other things, so it was really good to hear it and listen to it, because I hadn't heard all that bit.
Yeah.
Probably half of it, I was busy doing something and had it in my daughter's car. But listening to it now, I just think, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bev.
It was
That
a
was
play,
clear.
right? You saw that guy at the beginning came in just to cover space, and he was working with them.
Yeah.
Because they were swapping.
And your experience,
changing
with your
between the two.
experience, you saw that, you recognised that, quite quickly, and I didn't. I didn't recognise that at that point. But when Roots comes along and says, "It's all right, mate. You haven't been in the arena. You haven't been in the community for that long."
Yeah.
It's like, you bastards.
He's in training.
What a
right?
game.
Just obfuscation training.
Yeah.
Like the whole
And then
thing.
they're trying to, and they kicked us.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. It's just madness.
Anybody that gets anywhere close to realising actually what's going on within this arena, you have to leave. And that's what we've been saying for quite a bit. Like, we don't actually belong in this arena. It's just that these people, I've been fascinated by them, but it's taught me a lot, and mainly it's taught me that you don't want to be bringing people into this arena. And hopefully the videos that I've been showing and letting people know is that, this is for normal people to know what it's like whenever you say things to people. I put myself out there as a guinea pig.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, right? I'll do it. You guys don't need to. Just watch this shit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was very clear what you were talking about. It became much clearer for me, even. It was just, I can see why people don't get things. There's different levels of awareness and consciousness and groupthink and collective groupthink and places you can't step outside, and especially if you've been in those kind of positions. I mean, in groups of people, for you to suddenly go, actually, just woken up and sorry, mates, I can't hang around with this anymore, and you've got to talk in a way that will be seen as being, the enemy, opposite, not what everybody else has said, and you're a traitor, whatever. If you just woke up to, realize that something else, there's another possibility, there's a different perception, a free space.
But that's where you will go,
without
right?
all
To
of
go
that
and talk about
encumbrance.
it. You'd hope, wouldn't you?
Yes.
That you go in to find a nice somewhere where you can find camaraderie and all of that, but realise that you're more confined within this arena.
Yeah.
Like You can't really talk
Well,
about
yeah.
reality for fear of triggering someone.
You know, it's like the gas out the container thing, isn't it? Really, just somebody thought, because you know, as you're bouncing about, you then realize where the container is. You know, this is the limits. You know, and you think, wow, this is as far as it goes. That's the wall. Okay, let's go over there. Oh, that's the wall. Shit, you know, and it isn't contained. None of this is contained, but you're talking about not being in a container when they are the container. Amazing, very interesting, and enlightening. Yeah, well, for me at least. You know,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
quite
I know,
happy.
and it's not for everyone, right? Because this is for, like, I don't know. You've got to be pretty hardcore to be able to enter these rooms, right? Just to get in there to listen. Normally, it spend a long time people listening on the YouTube or whatever. And so it takes a long while in order for you to get into these rooms. And if all you've ever heard is these types of videos that we've had, you might be mistaken thinking that that's what it's actually like in the Discord here.
In here on the OTL, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no.
Like,
this is the thing. Yeah.
If all you ever do is listen to this, you might be fooled into thinking that, but I mean, it couldn't be further.
Like
yeah.
No.
I mean,
early
on it was.
Yeah, and you're held up as being the enemy because of that. Because there's like I said earlier, you know, a space of safe haven. Really, it's just well, you know, there isn't that stuff isn't going on here. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. So yeah, nobody's muting people or that kind of gaslighting of that kind of stuff. You know, things can be said, things can be talked about, and logically worked through.
Yeah,
even if you can't logically see it at the time, if you're talking about it, amazing conversations.
Through them, can't you? Right?
Yeah. And I've certainly found, you know, push beyond the limits of my thought, really, you know, current thought. You know, thought, oh yeah, or seen it in a different way, because I do. There's some things that are said by people, and I realise, wow, that's how I live. That's how I feel inside. You know, boundless, limitless, formless. You know, but just inside this body at this current time. You know, but that immortal part of me doesn't live with it inside any of that stuff. It'll go on forever somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that we've not really dealt that much within religion because it's sort of, I don't know, I think I always deem it's something personal to everyone. And some people may not be comfortable talking about it because, well, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things, right? Like, when you get down to reasoning and all of that, when you get to the why question, that there just aren't words there. You know, like there's not, and it's the same for faith. You can only use the words that you're given, and for certain things, there aren't words. Or you wouldn't know how to express it within words to be able to communicate that with somebody else, so that they would understand the words that you mean about it. It's one of those things. It's a bit impossible, I think.
Yeah.
But people will try and represent it however they will. But that's the sort of thing that this model of it.
Yeah, I think, you know, culturally we kind of steer it, or we're taught that we steer away from the beginning and the end of this thing. Yeah, people are kind of fearful of birth, fearful of death. They don't look at it very closely or wonder about it, or if these questions are brought up, it brings them to those questions and their mortality and what am I doing, and those kind of things. For some people, it's like too much to even conceive of. Maybe you don't even have the awareness or the power of consciousness to be able to consider those things. But yeah, I know certainly in my experience of birth, how women are treated and how they are separated from themselves, and the natural thing of giving birth, by the hospital, by the medical system, kind of tries to take that away. That's been my experience. Let's make this clinical. Let's make this as fast as possible. Let's give you an injection and pull that thing out quick. It's the natural thing is, and the awareness of that for women. I mean, that used to be seen. It used to be witnessed. People giving birth. So that the next generation had some cognizance of that. But now, don't think most women, most girls have any. They don't have an experience of that, of birth for themselves. It's very sanitized. Those parts of our life, birth and death. Who are we? Where are we going? What's the point? What are we doing here? That isn't focuses on much in life, really. Makes keep people really busy and having to just survive and pay the bills, and don't really have time to think about it. And even less so if you have no critical thinking development. That's taken out of education and logic. Then it's going to be impossible to work anything out. Impossible to have any reason in power to work out the right or the wrong of something. Yeah, so it's pretty scary for a lot of people, but there's something very insidious about this arena and this the way you have to control the limits of speech, control the limits of the model. All's got to be within the confines of a structure. And if you step outside of that, then that's on either side. Whichever room you go in, the round one or the flat one, they all have that limit. Don't
Strange,
go beyond
isn't
here.
it?
Don't mention that. Yeah.
And
that is what I came in search of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I came in search of. This is what this has all been about. It was just a fork in the road that sent me down this way. And there'll be another. I see them coming now.
Yeah.
But there are others, that I'll go, okay. Every time there's a fork in the road, you make a choice which way you're going. And they keep coming. It's not, that's it. And and I came down this way, and it's this romance with knowledge. Yeah. Now what's down here? And it was fascinating. It was fascinating in the beginning because I just thought it was a load of madness. I wasn't really that. I don't know. As I said, it was just I need to just look, just so I could have an opinion about it and think, oh yeah, I have looked at that. Okay, that's not worth my attention. Yeah, give it enough. That's all right. That's a waste of time. Let's carry on down here, or head back and take the other branch of the crossroads or the fork in the road. Yeah, and it feels like reached the limit of it. It feels very much like that within this model of the arena model, the limits of the model. Thankfully, here as gives me this umbilical cord to the universe, so I can keep breathing and getting nourishment. It's a bit like that. There's this little door that you can go to OTL and just chill a bit, and it's amazing how much light keeps coming through that. It's been very interesting. But I had expected to find more truth amongst that, and then when you kind of try to express that or explore it, no, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
Why that can't be explored.
I mean, the journey should be that from now on, you realise that there are no experts. It literally is down to you.
Yeah.
You can't really trust. You can't trust anyone in any of this.
No.
It's just you, and this journey's your journey, and you're gonna find out whatever you're gonna find out, however you're gonna find out about it. But you best be sure that you understand that you're gonna have to have some system to find out whether somebody's bullshitting you or not. Because there will be a lot of people that are going to be bullshitting you. You don't want to be fooled by them.
Yeah, I still think we have, so, looking at my kids and things and thinking, I do recognize they have an innate kind of sense, that sixth sense of something's right or wrong. And that's what I tell them to focus on. Because that's, if they haven't worked out any reasoning or logic or to connect those things, that, trust in that bit that tells you whether this is right or wrong. And, talked to the door the other day and said, well, all this stuff you're going through, this is what you need. It's not me. It's what you need for your life. You're going to have to work out what is yours and what is somebody else's. Is this your issue? Can you do anything about this? Can you control your emotions? Can you be disciplined in yourself to not be envious, to not be jealous, to not be pulled by all those things? Or is it somebody else's stuff they're projecting on you? And then you can try and work that out. And that might be a life's journey to do that, work out how to do that. But this is yours. This is, you're in this situation because this is what you have to do. And gradually, if you can become free, teach yourself to be free of that, find the loopholes, find the secret doorways. We're all doing that. None of us are any different. Hopefully we're going to reach some place that we go, oh, that's the door we go through, or whatever it might be. Some enlightenment that says, oh, geez, we went through all that to get here. Amazing. Yeah, sometimes it's tough, but there are some great times. Some enlightening times that come out of it. That's been my experience, in a sense that's probably been similar for you. When you talk about Logos and those moments that can be quite simple, just these recognition that you're still connected, and that's the truth I've been looking for. Something that makes the footsteps a bit lighter, really. But limits.
Fucking break them.
Hey, still live.
Oh, sorry. That was my bad. Sorry. I apologize.
I am gonna play the Church of thingy, and then we're
great music. Well done. Those lyrics you put together was cool, and what came out of that, the music is, there's been some really good stuff. There's some you go, there's some stuff that's just like right.
You have to sift through a fair bit. I'm going to be doing a fair bit more of it, but it's good to have it there to make it, the thing. So
I like the aspects of different genres for different people, because it's multiple. The globe has many dances, many tunes, many genres.
This is to keep it upbeat. Like it's not a bad thing, right? This thing has turned it into some sort of I don't know, like a thing to cause division, and it shouldn't be. It's like we are all together in this. There should be more of us talking about this rather than this tiny little group of people that want to shut down conversations. I mean, is it any wonder it's such a tiny group of people and you always recognise the same people? Because
it's such a pity that this velvet glove is being seen as a clawed hand, and
Right, let me
ever. Yeah,
play
I mean,
this out,
yeah.
and then we can get back to the chatting. As always, if you want to come and join us, click the thingy underneath the video and join the Discord. I think we've got a live mix by my son tomorrow. He's doing that live, and then he's coming round here for a few days. So, the Church of the Religion You Never Knew You Had. Here it is. We'll see you next week.
Well, I could do the church of the religion you never knew you had. Welcome to the church of the religion you never knew you had. Welcome to the place unknown, religion seated when you were grown. Hidden lessons went along, truth is here now in this tone. Shadow plays on the wall, you never knew you learned it all. Secret speakers, echoes call, feel the rise, don't fear the fall. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. They whispered while you dreamt so deep, planted truths while thoughts were free. In the dark their secrets keep, now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread, follows you where'er it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed, find the path that you've been fed. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. Whispered while you dreamt so deep, planted truths while thoughts were free. In the dark their secrets keep, now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread, follows you where'er it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed, find the path that you've been fed. The church of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith and shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked.
Perpendicular lines meet in the air, horizontal and vertical everywhere, everywhere. Drawing shapes with a flair, 'tis globe dreams we'll share. Horizontal planes so wide and clear, building worlds everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. In the lines we find our cheer, geometric love, my dear. Everything is always everywhere, everywhere. Angles meet with precision and care. Geometry flows in the precious air. Everywhere we look, everywhere, everywhere. Circles turning round and round, shapes and patterns all around. Lines that vanish without a sound. Loving the logic that we found. Intersecting heart's design, drawing Euclid in every sign. Parallel paths will never meet, symmetry on every line. Everything is always everywhere, everywhere. Angles meet with precision and care. Geometry flows in the precious air. Everywhere we look, everywhere, everywhere. Perpendicular lines meet in the air. Horizontal and vertical, everywhere, everywhere. Drawing shapes with